What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View and welcome to the Asylum. Yes, it's officially got a name. The Asylum. We're back for another pre-season fixture. It's Manchester United versus Olympique Lyonnais. Olympique Lyonnais. Yes, we're here to follow the match. I was working so long on that French accent. Bonsoir, baby. Yes. Oh. We're back for another pre-season fixture, back for another virtual match view. It's going to be a lot of fun. Luxil says, not the French pronunciation. Yes, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's my... 23, yes, Septembre, Julie, yes, Lyonnais. But they're in Scotland, actually. They're in Edinburgh. They're at Murrayfield. It's Manchester United versus Lyon in the second pre-season fixture. The final one before Manchester United fly out to the United States later on this evening. And then we have Arsenal at the weekend in New York City. NYC United versus Arsenal. Very excited for that. But first, we do have this pre-season fixture. I can see in front of me right now, Erik ten Hag is talking to the presenters, the broadcasters ahead of this pre-season fixture. You can see it right there. The team news, if my hand didn't cut off, there. The team news. And there's only a couple of changes actually from the team that started in Oslo against Leeds United. We've got a change in goal. No Tom Heaton. We've got Kovar in goal. This was the one I was actually very excited about. I'm very interested in seeing Maciej Kovar play today because there's no real first-team goalkeepers available at the moment. There's no Dean Henderson because he's set to leave and go to Nottingham Forest. There's no Tom Heaton. The assumption is that's because he's going to be going to Luton. We know Andre Onana is having his medical today. I don't think he's having it right now. There was a bit of miscommunication between some reports saying that he was undergoing his medical as we speak. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate, but he's going to be having it today. He's not going to be flying out with Manchester United tonight. It could be tomorrow, possibly Friday, but there's a hope maybe that he might be available for Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. But Kovar's in goal. Same back four. You've got Wan-Bissaka at right back. Alessandro Martinez. Rafael Varane. Captain in the side again today. Which is really interesting for me that Rafael Varane is captain in the side. Because there's been so much talk recently about captaincy. Harry Maguire no longer the Manchester United captain. Erik ten Hag has stripped him of that role. The expectation is Bruno Fernandes is going to be named as the new Manchester United captain, but Rafael Varane, for the second game in a row, has captained the side in Bruno's absence. Is that an indication that possibly, we could be seeing Varane actually be the vice-captain moving forward? We'll have to wait and see. Alvaro Fernandez starts once again at left back because, of course, no Luke Shaw. He's only just come back to training along with the other international players. Same with Thuram Malacia, but Malacia is actually going to miss the US pre-season tour. He's got an injury. That was according to reports a couple of days ago. So maybe Fernandez is actually going to play more of a role on the pre-season tour in the United States as well. He did play very well in the first 45 minutes against Leeds in Norway last week. Midfield three, exactly the same again. Kobbie Mainoo in the deeper six role. You've got Mason Mount and Hannibal Mejbri, just a bit in front of him as the 2-8s. A couple of changes, well, one change actually in front of them as well. We've got a front three of Ahmad, who we think is going to be on the left, maybe, although it could be Sancho on the left. We'll have to wait and see. As I mentioned, Jadon Sancho, maybe in that false nine role again. He was the false nine in the first half against Leeds. Didn't really work out for him, so I was kind of surprised to see him starting the false nine role, but as I said, I could see a situation where maybe Sancho goes out to the left. We could see this. Hey, look at the touch screen. Look at the touch screen. Oh, look at that. Oh, oof. Look at the touch screen. Yeah. Oh. It's good. It's very, very good. So we could see something like that. But if we're basing ourselves on last week, it'll be Sancho in the false nine. And then we've got Anthony starting his first game of preseason on the right-hand side. So all of this discussion about is it going to be Anthony or Ahmad, they're both starting today. So let me know your thoughts about that in the live chat. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Sanjay says, when kickoff? When is kickoff, Sanjay? I'll tell you exactly when it is. You can see bottom left-hand corner. It's 1:34. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. British Summer Time, so about 25 minutes to go to kickoff as we wait to see Manchester United's second pre-season game. As I mentioned, Ten Hag is just talking to the broadcasters at the moment. Let me actually unmute this so I can hear what he's saying. Damn, I unmuted it and then they went, Erik, thank you for interviewing us. Damn. Damn, I haven't heard what Erik ten Hag has had to say. Looks like it's nice weather there in Edinburgh as well. Murrayfield's actually not usually used for football. Occasionally it is, but most of the time it's a rugby stadium. But it's a beautiful stadium, really great capacity, and obviously huge Scottish support for Manchester United. They were saying, actually, they make their way down to Old Trafford every week, don't they? And they deserve to certainly have some pre-season football. As you can see, also in the scroller here in the Asylum, you can see all of the pre-season fixtures. We're going to be covering all of them, as always, here on United View. The US games, of course, Flex, KG, Josh, they're all going to be there. Flex and KG are going to be doing their Flex and KG thing. They have arrived safely in New York after a travel day some would describe as from hell. They are safe and sound in the Big Apple. I have confirmation. I'm hearing the sources that they are there and they are safe. I think it turned into like a ridiculous 14 plus hour travel day. It was kind of crazy, kind of nuts because of the weather, and refueling in Boston, eventually getting to JFK, and then having to spend a lifetime getting out of the airport as well. Sanka says KG's fault. It's entirely possible. Traveling with him, I don't know. It's entirely possible. We may be getting some reaction from both of them as well today. I don't know how feasible that is where they are at the moment. And also now we are operating, or we're beginning to operate across 2 time zones. I'm used to it, it must be said. I'm used to this kind of stuff because if you're a fan, it took me, how long? 6 minutes to get a pro wrestling thing in. But if you're a wrestling fan, you live across the US time zone, whether it's 5 hours behind or 6 or 7 hours, depending on where you are in America. If you're working on Central Time, East Coast Time, West Coast Time, I'm used to it, but it's pretty difficult sometimes when it comes to the communication as well. Which players, let me know in the live chat, which players are you looking forward to the most again? I think possibly out of the last game, a lot of people were talking about Kobbie Mainoo, of course, an impressive first half performance in the sort of deeper 6 role, which we would think he's probably going to be doing the same function again for Manchester United against Lyon today. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can develop from that. What would I be looking for from this team today? You would say maybe a bit more, a bit less rustiness, something a bit more sharp. It's an odd one because it's a pre-season fixture, but it's one of these ones that maybe people aren't paying a ton of attention to because it's not officially on the tour. So people are kind of, it's more legs. It's more just, again, get some fitness going. I mean, all of these people, I would think, particularly the people that start, unless something happens, injury or maybe in the case of a Hannibal, interest or transfer, I would think they're probably all going to be on the plane to be going on that pre-season tour. As far as at the moment, at the time of me doing this live, United have not announced the squad that's going to be travelling out to the United States, so that's going to be quite interesting as well. Also, a bit of a confirmation just on the bench, because I'm sure people will be asking, Owen, who's on the bench? I'll tell you exactly who's on the bench. We've got Harrison, the goalkeeper, Bishop. Johnny Evans is on the bench. Yes, Johnny Evans is on the bench. Johnny Evans, Manchester United's latest signing, Johnny Evans. Is on the bench, and it's going to be interesting to see if indeed he does make an appearance today. I think he probably, let's face it, most likely he's going to. Erik ten Hag in these pre-season friendlies, he has 2 different sides, 45 minutes. I dread halftime because I have to switch out all of the players on my touchscreen here, which can be eventful to say the least. But Johnny Evans is on the bench along with Fish. Most likely that'll be the centre-back pairing in the second half. Jurado's also on the bench as well. He was linked with a move back to Barcelona this week, I saw as well. I don't know how legitimate that was, but he's on the bench too. Brandon Williams on the bench. Fred, he did travel. Fred was an interesting one. As far as I'm aware, you can let me know in the live chat if this was ever explained, but Fred did travel to Oslo, but he wasn't then in the squad. I think there was an expectation he was going to be in the starting lineup, or at least playing some part of the game against Leeds, and he didn't. I don't know if Ten Hag ever explained that. I didn't see that. You can let me know in the live chat if that was the case, if he picked up an injury or something. I was thinking at the time it was because maybe a move to either Fulham or Saudi Arabia or Galatasaray had kind of picked up some pace, and that's why he was sort of pulled from the squad at that point. Austin Baker said heard he was sick. So maybe I thought it might be something like that. I didn't see anyone explain it. But Fred's on the bench today, so there's an expectation that Fred will take part. Gore's also on the bench. Gore! Rhino. Isaac Hansen-Aaron, who was impressive in the second half. Forson. Donny van der Beek is also in the squad today. The first time he's been named in a matchday squad since January, where he suffered his season-ending. Gosh, Owen, calm down. Season-ending knee injury. So he's going to be back, so it'll be good to see him get some minutes. Emran, of course, really got a lot of the plaudits, goal and assist in the last game. He's also on the bench, along with Hugel up front as well, who got a goal in the last game against Leeds too. When it comes to Donny, and look, you know me, I know you're going to say, here we go, it's going to start again. The Donny van der Gender's going to begin, and I don't mean it to. I don't mean the Donny van der Gender to start up and anything like that. I hope he has a good pre-season. I hope he gets minutes today. He will get minutes today. I think most people, near enough everyone that's on that bench will get some form of minutes, again, because they swapped the teams entirely in the second half. So Donny will get some minutes. And I hope also, when he goes, because most likely he's going to go on the pre-season tour of the United States, I hope he gets some minutes there. And I hope he just, again, builds up some fitness, and it leads to, honestly, what is needed for him, and that's a departure. And at this stage in his Man United career, he just doesn't really have, I don't think, a role to play anymore. And for his career too, he needs to be playing every single week. He does. You look at, I feel terrible for him, because you look at what's happened since he's come to United. I mean, his career's completely stalled in terms of when he was at Ajax, he was sort of the last, or one of the last, well, not, but of the people that were going to be sold from the Ajax team. He was sold from that, and he had high expectations. Prior to coming to United, it was reported that basically a move was agreed for him to go to Real Madrid, and that didn't happen. United swooped in. We signed him. Clearly, it was a player that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't know if he wanted or not, but really didn't have any idea what to do with him with, and sort of floundered on the bench a bit. Same with last season, or the season before last, rather. And whatever managers come in, it hasn't changed. And yes, he's had injuries along the way. He went to Everton to get some minutes, picked up an injury, barely played. And it's been really unfortunate. And because of that, he's missed out on some really important moments from an international point of view. I don't think he was in the Euro squad. He wasn't in the World Cup squad as well. And again, that's really, really unfortunate on his part, because he was a player that was always going to be involved in the international setup. So for the sake of his career, because he's still a young guy, for the sake of his career, he needs to go. He needs to leave United, go somewhere else, play football, maybe go back to the Netherlands, go back to Ajax, or go to a different country, a different league. I just don't know if he's suited to the Premier League as well, that fast-paced nature of it. I could see him going to Spain, doing well quite there, or going to Italy, a much more slower tempo, more methodic. I could see him doing well there, because it's not a case of he's a bad player. It's just for this league, for this Man United side, higher tempo, personality, character. I know there are a lot of buzzwords, but I think that he needs to move on for the sake of his career. And another season at United, I wouldn't see any more really development from that. And also, look, we need to sell players. We do. We need to move players on. And Donny's part of that list. He's in that list with your Dean Hendersons, your Harry Maguires, Donny van der Beek, Fred, Tellers is going, Bailly's going, Anthony Elanga's going. I mean, we're nearly into sort of double digits of players we need to be moving on this summer, and Donny's part of that as well. And from an FFP point of view, if we want to get Rasmus Højlund, if we want to get Amrabat, if we want to get this backup goalkeeper, Suzuki, or maybe it's going to be Kovar that stays, I don't know, we need to sell players. Otherwise, those transfer plans just aren't going to happen from an FFP point of view. So for the sake of his career, he needs to move on. But today, focusing specifically on today, we need to he needs to get minutes, and hopefully he will get minutes as well. So excited and hopeful that he can get minutes, because he suffered a really horrible injury last season. It was nasty, wasn't it? It was one of those ones that when they showed the replay back, his knee bended like that. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. So hopefully he'll get minutes as well. I'm really excited also to see Hannibal again today, because I thought he played really well in the first half against Leeds. I was really impressed by his aggressiveness, how tenacious he was. There was a period in the game, or a moment in the game rather, where United, I think, had a corner and it came out to Kobbie Mainoo, and he had a bit of a dodgy touch, and Leeds were on the counter-attack and they went whoosh. flied up the pitch, and it was actually Hannibal's sliding tackle managed to get back and prevent a goal from happening. And again, I was really impressed with his performance in the first half. And when I said this in the fan view after the game, of course that was met by, "Oh, you're the problem with Manchester United fans. Why are you settling that Hannibal is good enough for Man United? If you think Hannibal is good enough for United, you might as well be Glazers in with what you're saying. You might as well. Yeah, you don't understand. You just don't get it." And you go, whoa, guys. Woohoo. Whoa. And this is something, actually, we need to lay down some ground rules for these pre-season fixtures. It's only pre-season, okay? Positive or negative, it's only pre-season. So, for instance, if Hannibal plays well in this game, you can go, Hannibal played well. I'm watching this game. Ask me, who played well in the game? Hannibal. Hannibal played well. What, are you saying he should be starting every single game for Manchester United? No. No. I'm talking about his game. Hannibal played okay. He did all right. Okay? I'm not saying Hannibal is going to be the next Luka Modric. You know, he's the Tunisian Modric is basically what he is. He's incredible. Oh, absolutely incredible. No. And it's the same thing throughout the entirety of this pre-season. There'll be some games, I mean, you never know, we might win every game, but even if we do, don't get too carried away. If we lose, for instance, today, if we lose against Lyon, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't matter. It's pre-season. We play Arsenal at the weekend. If we win, great, we'll rub it in Arsenal's faces. If we lose, it's just pre-season. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Look how we had a really strong pre-season last year. Won the majority of our games. Would it be draw one, I think it was, in the end against Crystal Palace, but the majority of which we won. Lost against Atletico in Oslo, ironically enough. And then we lost our first 2 games of the season. Again, it doesn't matter. Like, it's pre-season. It's about minutes. It's about legs. It's about tactics. It's about integrating players. And it's also about, if these young players play well, go say they played well. That doesn't mean I'm saying, you know, if I say today Alvaro Fernandez plays well, that's not me saying we should sell Luke Shaw tomorrow and give Fernandez the captaincy, you know, because that's what they'll do. It's just it's nuts. It's nuts. Pre-season and the transfer window, I really do think brings the worst out of people, because nowadays on social media you can say one thing, but people can just hear another. You know, like they said, if you say you like coffee, that means you hate tea. Didn't say that, you know, it doesn't. A Liverpool fans in the chat says it doesn't matter. Well, the thing is, with a Liverpool fan, I would ask you actually, you know, what, from a Liverpool point of view, since you're in here, what do you think? What do you think? Because
it doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah. Imagine. Liverpool. And how do you feel?
It doesn't matter how you feel.
Nah. Come on. They're just bitter because they don't have the Bangkok trophy. Yeah, the pinnacle of football. Bangkok trophy. So, still very bitter. Very, very bitter about that, I think. Ask Jurgen about it. It doesn't matter what night we have European football. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's all the same. Of course it's the same. Yeah, oh yeah, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same when you hear that Europa League music. We heard it last season. It's exactly the same. No problem, mate. Not a problem. And, no, but you're right, of course. Whoever wins that game against Arsenal at the weekend, they're going to be going, see? Rah, 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 rah. But the same way that when we beat you in pre-season last season, what was your response? It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. And then we beat you at home not long after. And then you beat us 7-0. And you keep talking about the 7-0. But a more important number is third. That's where we finished in the league. Where did you finish? Oh, not in that top 4. Oof. You know? Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, isn't it? Basically, as Tabaslav says, Champions League and Europa League, it's basically the same. Apart from, you know, it's a different night and it's different competition, different music, different trophy, different prize money. Yeah, but basically the same. It's basically the same. No problem. Not an issue. So it's all in fun, isn't it? It's all in fun. I don't mind. Just seeing a clip of Marcus Rashford on the screen at the moment. Of course, signed a new 5-year contract. 5-year contract. Again, I'm not surprised, but there were still some people very divisive on it. Oh, this is what happens. We overspent. We've given an inflated contract for a player that's not even that good. Blah blah blah. Again, I think it's a good move for United. Time down, and I'm also glad that this is done not only before the season, but before the beginning of the real pre-season as well. You didn't want this to be dragging on into the real proper pre-season tour or anything like that. So I think the timing of this was good. Again, I'm happy with the deal. I mean, 300 to 325 reportedly, including incentives and stuff like that. Honestly, again, I thought it was. I thought it'd end up being more. Of United in the past, it would have ended up being... Let's face it, if Ed Woodward was still in charge and Matt Judge was still negotiating things, Marcus Rashford would be on like 400k a week at the moment, or 450, or something ridiculous. And you say, nah, no chance. Jadon Sancho's currently on 350. So anything's possible when it comes to contracts at Manchester United. So I'll take it. Again, move on. And now it's up to him. It's up to him to hit the levels that he hit last season over a longer period of time. He did drop off towards the end of the season, and now it's upon him to make sure that drop off doesn't happen this year, and he's fully fit and he's ready to go. I believe in Erik ten Hag. He can get the best out of Rashford like he did for a period of time last season. I think the biggest thing for him as well, upcoming this season, is I think he needs more support, honestly. I think the burden needs to be taken off of him a bit in terms of the goal scoring point of view. Marcus Rashford, I mean, even if he has a similar season to what he had last season, and it's not 30 goals in all comps, but it's 25, if you've got a striker in there that's pitching in 15, 20 goals a season, that's a massive assistance, that's a massive help, and that's a massive ease off of Marcus Rashford too. So, again, I think that's really, really positive. Ahmad says, doesn't Fifth get Champions League starting from next season? I have no idea, Ahmad. I'm not aware of that unless something has changed because of the... Is that true? Is that true? Gosh, England... Surely the UEFA can't be happy with that. Yeah, it does. Wow, I didn't even know that. 5 spots. English team. What? And then what happens? And then, because of the coefficient, obviously, I would assume, yeah? So if that's the case, are we saying then if you finished, say, 6th and you won the Champions League, there'd be 6 teams in the Champions League the season after? Or what? And what happens if a team wins the Europa League as well? Wait a minute. Is there like a possibility that 7 English teams could be in the Champions League? Is that a possibility? If you had the top 5 qualify, and then a team outside of that won the Champions League, and a team outside of that won the Europa League. I suppose there is more teams. The format's changing, isn't it, as well? And I did see that new format, and it hurt my head, honestly. Thriller says, no, the winner would take the place off the 5th place team. Or is it going back to like that kind of stuff again? Because that used to be the case, for instance, when Chelsea won the Champions League the first time. Didn't Spurs finish 4th, but they didn't qualify because Chelsea took their spot. But then they changed that. So I don't know. I mean, and it's an unlikely situation, but my gosh, there's a possibility like 7 or 8 teams could be in the Champions League. That's nuts. That's crazy. Wow. And again, I guess that's because the coefficient is so strong. Gosh. That's nuts. I mean, I'm sure the Premier League teams are happy about that because that's what they're all striving for. Does that take something away, though, from the top 4 race for you or the Champions League race for you? Because it does for me a little bit, you know. Now it's like 5 teams going into that. I mean, the problem is, I suppose, is even the top 6 is kind of a bit of a falsehood now because there's more than 6 teams, really, isn't it? You know, you talk about the big teams in the Premier League. You've obviously got United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Newcastle come into that at this point. I don't know. It does take a bit out of it for me. But then, look, this is what I always also say with lots of things with football. Football does evolve and it does change. I'm not against that or anything like that. I mean, even the Champions League as we know it now, I mean, it's far different from the original European Cup. I mean, it used to literally just be the champions of Europe around, and then that evolved. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, the Champions League that I sort of grew up with had 2 separate group stages. You had the first group stage, and then you went through into another group stage as well. So you sort of that changed and evolved over time too. I have to be honest, I haven't looked at the new Champions League format tons. They think it's partially to do with, the pressure of the Super League and wanting to get more teams involved, more money, because that's what it's all about really. It's all about more money and more fixtures. But I mean, I don't even think we've recorded the Champions League theme tune yet. We've got a KG and Flex have to get into the studio to do something about that. Sasha with the super chat says, big up Owen, when are you going to play FIFA as Flay G? I'm not going to take over that burden, playing as Flay G. Flay G is a dead man walking. Flay G's job is firmly on the chopping block. I think they know that as well. So that's why no FIFA. Well, honestly, there's no FIFA because obviously they're not in the country at the moment. And I'm not that good at FIFA. I'm not. I mean, my FIFA football game playing consists of me playing Josh off camera occasionally, and then winning, and then he goes again, like a big baby. Baby. That's Josh when he plays FIFA again, or when I play him on the AW Fight Forever game. Oh, this game's buggy. This game's buggy. I'm putting it down, and I'm gonna play again. This game's buggy, and then I go, hey, it's not buggy for me. I'm winning. And I had an audience there before. I had Flex and KG watching me. I didn't have any bugs, Josh. No bugs for me. It was fine. I just kept winning. I kept playing the game. So he was very aggressive, very annoyed. And then when we were playing it the last time I played Josh at that game was the day we got the Here We Go for Mason Mount. And if we were a bit like flustered when we were doing that stream, it's because we had literally just gone from playing that into doing the Mason Mount thing, and obviously it wasn't planned at all. And Josh was very angry that day. I was like, Josh, can you pass my iPad? No. Oh, I get it myself. I do everything myself. Just like when I beat you at Fight Forever, all by myself. And then I started trolling him a lot on FIFA, and he kept banning me from the channel that I'm on. It was much back and forth. But big up Josh. He had to rush against the clock. If some of you are wondering why wasn't the stream set up for ages, it's because Photoshop and Google Drives and things of that nature weren't working. So we had to put together this thumbnail last minute. And Josh did it. A race against time across the Atlantic. And he did it really early in the morning as well. Probably having jet lag too. So big up Josh. It was excellent work from Just Josh Media. Fastest man in the West. Fastest man on the East Coast right now, allegedly. Teams are in the tunnel. So we're just about to, they're just about to walk out in Edinburgh. I just saw someone playing the bagpipes, which is always fun. 7 Nation Armies playing on the tannoy, which is always good. Jason says Josh deserves an emoji. He does deserve an emoji, and he makes them. So just make one for yourself, Josh. Put the Josh emoji in. He needs it. Or at the very least, a flash emoji. That's kind of copyright neutral, because I feel like we could get in a bit of trouble for that. Josh Moji. Yeah, exactly. We need Josh Moji. For those that are just joining us at the moment, first of all, Siren. Get the Sirens in the chat. First one of the day. Sirens fill up the chat. The team news, you can see it on the screen right now. Kovar in goal. Wan-Bissaka right back. Martinez, Varane. Fernandez is your back 4. Kobe Mainoo playing in the lone 6. Mason Mount and Hannibal playing just in front of him as the 2-8. In front of them, you've got Ahmad, who seems to be playing on the left, possibly. Jadon Sancho as the false 9. And Anthony playing on the right-hand side. Of course, allegedly, according to some, KG, he is the answer to the right-hand side. As far as the bench, let me get the bench up in front of me as well. I've got multiple screens here. That's what we're dealing with in the Asylum. On the bench, we've got Harrison, Bishop, the 2 goalkeepers, defenders of Johnny Evans, Fish, Urado, Williams, midfielders of Fred, Gore, Hansen Aaron, Forson, Van der Beek, and forwards of Emmeran and Hugo. That is the Manchester United squad for today's game at Murrayfield in Edinburgh. Teams are just walking out onto the pitch as we speak. Look at this. Look at this. I'm multitasking like a madman. I can see lots of sirens. Red Baron says, do you drink herbal teas? I do enjoy a green tea, but I don't have any green tea bags here at the moment. Red Baron says, Owen, long-term energy drinks will ruin your sleeping patterns. My sleeping patterns are already all over the shot, Red Baron. I am that person. I've always been like that. Got a very active mind. That's the problem. Players are out on the pitch. I mean, as far as like without a lot of international players, it's still a fairly strong side, isn't it, really? The back four's fairly strong, apart from Fernandez. You've got Anthony, Sancho, Ahmad Mount. You've got international players. Johnny Evans on the bench as well. Yeah. Get your predictions in as well. Get your scoreline predictions too. Sefa says, Sancho false 9. Indeed, that's what it looks like. Of course, it could change. I mean, we'll switch the lineup as it happens. Obviously, we'll switch it at half-time as well. But if throughout the game the players move around, we can change it here, so no problem. Sefa says 3-1, United. Siren's still in the chat. Excellent. I enjoy it a lot. Lil Yo-Yo says 2-2. Mick's going with an optimistic 29-0. Jose says 3-1 United. Sashiv says 3-0. Alexander Lacazette does play for Lyon today. They've got some big players. Tolisso, Sarr as well. But Alexander Lacazette, former Arsenal striker, captains the side. Speaking of the captains, they're there in the centre circle. Lacazette, Raphael Varane, French connection. Not like genes and stuff like that. I mean players. Remember, if you haven't already, click the like button and be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're going to be live for all the pre-season games, regardless of how late they are. That's what we're going to be doing. Got to make sure I get my my timer and everything ready. Got that Lyon kit as well. It's a bit of a wild one, isn't it? Very blue. No names on the back, just numbers, which is going to be a nightmare. Not that I'll name any of their players or anything like that. I'm morbidly curious to see Johnny Evans play today. I really am. And we're off. The second pre-season game is underway at Murrayfield. Manchester United versus Olympique Lyonnais. Laurent Blanc's Lyonnais as well. Kovar, sweeper keeper already. Martinez gives it back to the goalkeeper. Really interested to see him play. See how he plays out from the back. Of course, he was a league winner with Sparta Prague last season. And Fernandez passes it off the Lyon player for a throw-in. Ethan, welcome to Ethan, the latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up to Ethan. If you wish to join Ethan in the UV Members Club, you could do so. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat, or you can just click the join button. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content as well, such as UV Raw, a behind-the-scenes look at the day-to-day goings-on at United View. New episodes coming soon. If you're watching this, Josh, I know he'll be probably editing them. If he has any time. Probably not. Throw in for Manchester United. Ball at the feet of former Manchester United centre-back Laurent Blanc. Premier League winner with United in 2003. Then he retired. Another throw-in for United. It's a bit of a strange pitch, actually, Murrayfield, because it is usually a rugby stadium. There's quite a lot of space behind the goal. It looks, by the way, that Hannibal is playing as the false 9 for United in this early stages. I might have to tweak the lineup in just a second. But here's Kobbie Mainoo on the ball, sweeping up for United at the back. I'm just waiting for United to get a bit of possession, and then maybe we'll change things when it comes to the lineup. Here comes United playing out. Ahmad gives it to Hannibal, tries to go past the player. But Hannibal's definitely very advanced. Hannibal with the throw-in, gives it to Ahmad, who's drifting into the middle of the pitch here. Gives it back to Kobbie Mainoo, and all the way back to Raphael Varane. So just trying to have a look. Now Sancho's playing as a centre-forward. It's a bit of a floating role. Speaking of which, Just Josh is in the chat with the eyeballs emojis. Heck of a thumbnail, I've heard. People have been saying about it. Almac says, what happened to Flex? He's in America. He's in New York. He flew out yesterday. He's going to be at every single game. Bringing you that top tier UV pre-season coverage. Vlogs are coming soon. I know a lot of people are excited about that. Just the interactions that we had in Oslo the other day, a lot of people really enjoyed that. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Absolutely tip of the iceberg at United View. Poor kick from the Lyon goalkeeper. Hannibal gives it. Sancho, Anthony. Oh, it's just saved by the goalkeeper. That was a chance there for United, it must be said. Just having a look here. It was a poor kick from the goalkeeper. Fizzes out to Hannibal. Decent touch. Gives it to Sancho. And he just took a while to get the pass off. Gave it to Anthony. Goes past the play. Actually, it was all right by Sancho. Maybe the final pass was just a bit away from the keeper. But that's a chance. By the way, I think Anthony's on the left. And Ahmad's on the right. Maybe I've got to switch some people around. Corner ball, though, first. Mason Mount. Oh. Towards the back post and headed over the bar. But so far, actually, yeah, it looks like Anthony on the left-hand side and Ahmad on the right. Once again, Mason Mount's on all of the set pieces. But yeah, in retrospect, I actually think Sancho did okay there. Bit of a give and go with Anthony. Maybe should have done a bit better, but an early chance for United. Still 0-0. 4 minutes gone. Look at Hannibal, full of energy. I tell you what's a chance. Ahmad's through and goal. Oh, he's put it wide. 2 big chances in under 5 minutes. He should score. This is a chance. It's poor playing out from the back again by Lyon. Poor pass. Mason Mount actually nearly wins the ball back. It's Hannibal. Hannibal again. This is the aggressiveness by Hannibal. Pass goes back. Goes past the centre-back. And Ahmad should score. Look at this. Look at the pressure, though, by Hannibal again. That's what I liked in the last game. It's just pressure. It's intensity. It makes people make mistakes. Sancho's actually given a look across to Ahmad to say, actually, square it. You maybe should have squared it to me. But 2 chances already. United could have been 2-0 up. Here's Mason Mount. Ball in. Overhit. It's probably going to go out. Or just Anthony does keep it in. Well played by Anthony. On the left-hand side, puts the ball into the box. Hannibal leaves it, shoots! Oh, good save by the keeper again. Ahmad nearly scored again. This time it was on target. Pulls out the save from the goalkeeper. United have started like a house on fire. It's a good ball in by Anthony. And actually, it's Hannibal again. Hannibal just leaves it and says, no, I'm not going to take the strike. Maybe he gets the call from Ahmad. Ahmad gets that one on target. It's a good save, actually, by the keeper. But Hannibal again, look at him. He's on fire early on. Ahmad's looking lively, getting in positions. I'm sure he's frustrated that he hasn't scored. But just over 5 minutes gone. United could be 3-0 up. Here's Anthony on the left. Goes down, wins a free kick. I've got my centre-backs the wrong way round. There you go. Afternoon Minimin is in the chat. Only thing missing, a bit like the first half against Leeds, is a goal so far. Very early stages, though. Remember, if you haven't already, to click the like button. Pre-season streams. Let's get to 500 before half-time. If we get to 500 before half-time, anything's possible. Hannibal's in behind again. Down the right, puts the ball across goal. Oof, Sancho was waiting in the middle. But Hannibal again, breaking forwards. He's all over the place. In a good way. The intensity and the aggression. Making forward runs. Lyon they're all over the place. Absolutely all over the shot at the moment. It's a corner for United, though. Mason Mount's going to take, considering he takes all of the set pieces at the moment. Be interesting when you've got the likes of Shaw, Bruno, Eriksson back in the side. Mason Mount stands over it, though. Goes short. It's Anthony. Mount again. Right-footed. Was blocked. Now United got to be wary of the counter-attack. Lyon try and play out from the back. Go straight out for a throw-in. All over the place. Absolutely all over the shop. Look at Laurent Blanc. Does not look happy at all. He's probably thinking, I can't believe we should be 3 or 4-0 down. Chances for Ahmad, Anthony, so far. Good play by United there. Martinez wins the header. Oh, Mount kind of backed out of a challenge there. United a bit of trouble here. Lyon goes forward. Good tackle by Lisandro Martinez. Kobe Mainoo's got to get out to the player, though, on United's right. Ball into the box. Goes all the way out for a goal kick. Lacazette. 31 goals in 39 appearances last season for Lacazette in Liga. Some would say stand. Look at Eric in the hat. Look at baseball cap Eric Ten Hag. Love it. Sashiv says lack of threat. Well, it wasn't last season. But they struggled last season. Finished 7th in the league. Kovar, good pass to Lisandro Martinez there. Good distribution by the keeper. Here's Hannibal, middle of the pitch. Tries to pass out to the right-hand side, which has now got Anthony on it. Looks like he switched with Ahmad. Anthony cuts inside. Of course he does. Pass to Fernandez. Oh, unlucky. That was a good pass. Good idea to Mason Mount. He just overhit it. Probably did a Gary Neville there, didn't I? Ooh. But I'm not going to keep swapping, by the way, Anthony and Ahmad every time they swap, because I think I'll get blisters on my fingers. But Lyon looking to play it out from the back. Attempts a distribution. Fernandez wins the header. Well played. Here's Hannibal again to Jadon Sancho. 25 yards out. Takes a shot. Blocked. United look dangerous. They look dangerous, but there's still a lack of a focal point. That you're just a bit worried about composure and taking chances. But imagine, and this is what I mean. This is why I say, imagine we had a striker. Even in this game, we're playing without a striker. Jadon Sancho's a false 9, with sometimes Hannibal breaking forward to support him. Imagine we had a striker that was a focal point that we could link up with, play with his back to goal. Oh, it'd just be different kind of stuff. Ball over the top. Sancho is onside, so is Mason Mount, so is Ahmad. Sancho gives it to Mason Mount. Oh. Another opportunity was just managed to be scrambled away by the Lyon defenders. But I thought Mason Mount was going to get his goal there. That's 10 minutes gone. We could legitimately be 4-0 up. They're miles onside. The defensive line from Lyon's absolutely shambolic. Who is that player? Number 22. I don't know who he is. But he's on his ass towards the end of it. And Lyon are absolutely on their ass in terms of their playing style. They are all over the shop. And I can't believe it's 0-0. Kobe Mainoo gives it to Rafael Varane. Only thing missing is a goal, or 2, or 3. We've ripped them apart, but no end product at the moment. All elite on his arse. I know. The accent, the country bumpkin accent came out. People always ask if I'm from Bristol. I'm not. It's not as harsh as the Bristol accent, but it can be a bit 5:30 on his arse. No, it's not Cornwall as well. It's not really like Devon or anything like that. It's just, yeah. It's just sort of a light hot fuzz is what it is. Kovar, fizzed the ball out to Martinez there, though. Does well. Anthony, easily dispossessed. It's not a foul. Ball into the box by Lacazette. Kovar sweeps up. Good goalkeeping. But Anthony gave the ball away there cheaply. Big up Rich in the chats. Says Mason Mount's passes round the corner are so good and crisp. Crisp. Crisp like a Pringle. Because that's a crisp. But 12 minutes gone, still 0-0. Lively fixture so far. Lots of energy, which is kind of par for the course in the early stages of a pre-season fixture. Then you get to about 25-30 minutes and things start to die down a bit as people get very tired. Kovar. Oh, good pass. The distro from Kovar. 1-2 Ahmad. Tries to put through Sancho. He's in. He's in. Oh, keeper took his time to come out for it. I tell you what, Jaden, I'm just saying maybe put a little bit more mustard on your run there. It's a good ball by Ahmad. The keeper waits, he waits, and then Sancho just pulls out. Had that been a actual regular fixture, not a pre-season fixture, maybe Sancho would put his foot in a little bit there. But nice link-up play as well. Excellent 1-2. Ahmad with the through ball. And just... Mick, you're right. Mick said, remember, I said 29-0. I thought you were joking. Rich said Rashford catches up to that ball if he's running through the middle. And to be honest, it started with a brilliant pass from Kovar. Great distribution. Little fizz ball out to the wing. Then a 1-2 with Ahmad. Excellent stuff. But so far, he looks comfortable. Good pass there by Kovar to Hannibal. Hannibal gives it out to Lisandro Martinez, who's gone into midfield now on the left-hand side. Still travelling. Keeps going. Anthony's on his left. Gives it to Anthony. He's back on the left-hand side. Martinez, he's in the box. Gives it to Sancho. Clever feet. Sancho again. Gives it to Anthony. It's getting a bit tight now in there. But again, does start from the keeper. And gives it all the way to Martinez, who travels out. Wan-Bissaka, good pass. Mount turns. He's got space to go into. Mason Mount finds Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side. Sancho, he's into the box. Sancho gets tight again. Getting very crowded, very crowded. Just maybe overplaying it a little bit there. Just kind of, you know, good passing through the middle. Good passing between the lines. Oh, poor pass again from Lyon. Kobbie Mainoo, reverse pass to Anthony. Again, just maybe an extra touch too many from Anthony. Fernandez. Sancho gives it to Kobbie Mainoo once more. Out wide to Mason Mount. Mount, good pass. To Ahmad, who's on the right-hand side. Is he going to try and cut inside? He is. Gives it to Mount. Plays it to Anthony. Intricate passing. I think Ahmad might be offside. No, he's still on. And it goes all the way back to Kobbie Mainoo. I mean, one thing you can't deny so far from United is the passing is really good. Passing out of the defence from the goalkeeper into the midfield, into the final third is excellent. Even the link-up play in the final third is good. It's good to watch. It's just the end product, again, isn't there at the moment. Or in the last couple of moves, it's an extra pass too many, an extra touch too many. And you're looking at both Sancho and Anthony in that situation of just... get the ball out your feet quicker. That's a poor pass by Alvaro Fernandez. He's lost the ball. Kobbie Mainoo tries to win it back. Doesn't. Oh, Martinez flies in. They've still got the ball. Gives it to Lacazette. Tries to get the shot away. Across goal. Opportunity. Stays in. First opportunity for Lyon. And stems from United being sloppy on the ball. Ball into the box. Oh, bounces off Fernandez. He sort of looks like he's kind of chasing a mistake here. Edge of the box for Lyon. On United's right-hand side, it's Sarr. Ball into the box. Oh, it's really sloppy defending here. Takes a shot, side netting. Little warning sign for Manchester United there. Was just really sloppy. Giving the ball away. Ball ricocheting around all over the place in the box. Chasing the ball, some rash tackles. Just a reminder, just because you should be 20-0 up, you're not. It's still 0-0. Suleiman says, where did Lyon finish in League last season? They finished 7th. Oh, it's a corner. Corner ball. Ball in. Headed out by Mason Mount. It was a poor corner. See if United can counter. Here's Jadon Sancho. Goes past one player. He's got runners next to him. He's got Anthony. He's got Hannibal. Continuing to run with it. Gives it to Anthony. Now on the right-hand side. He's going to cut inside. Of course he is. And where are you going to go with it? Oh, he just gives it away. He passes it all the way back to Martinez. No end product, Anthony. See, that's like an opportunity. You just go, come on. Too many touches, too predictable, and then sloppy in the final third. Been a couple of times recently with that, with Anthony. I think Kenny would describe it as, I thought he were poor. I thought he were poor, lad. And Wan-Bissaka gives it to Rafael Varane. But again, that kind of encapsulates United so far. Really good passing play, good build-up. Just nothing frustrating. Here's Anthony again. Tries a forward pass and it's just too heavy. He's looking for Hannibal. Keeper manages to sweep it up. Still 0-0. That is real, and that probably is the one thing when you look at that starting lineup that you can see on the screen right now on the right hand to my left here, is that there just isn't a finisher. There's not enough composure. Wonderful build-up play and really good intensity, really good speed, good possession, but not clinical enough. But still plenty of time to go. Although for these players, you know, they've got, what, about less than 30 minutes left of football to play before it's going to be half-time and they'll be taken off. Ahmad is currently now on the left-hand side, Anthony on the right. They've switched back and forth, as I mentioned, like 10 times already. So, yeah, I mean, I could keep switching them over, but, yeah. But a bit of possession for Lyon at this point. Nearly 19 minutes gone. And United could easily be 5 or 6-0 up. As the Lyon keeper has possession of the ball at the moment. Ed says, happy to be here in the Asylum this afternoon. Sasha with a super chat says, this is why we need a Harry Kane type of player. Well, not even just Harry Kane. This is why we just need a striker. This team would benefit from a striker. This squad needs a striker. We have one in Anthony Martial, but we have one that's not available a lot of the time. That's why I've always said that's the priority for me. It was always, even before we got Andre Onana, before we got Mason Mount, that was the number one priority. You look at our stats last season, and football isn't just statistics, it's also the eye test as well. But it's we just couldn't score. We didn't score enough goals last season, and we made so many opportunities. Bruno Fernandes, the amount of assists he would have got and should have got last season is way more than his actual numbers on the board. He created so many chances, but there were chances we just didn't finish. And some of those away games as well. You think about those away games, even the 7-0 against Liverpool, or the 2-0 against Newcastle, or when we played Spurs away, we had chances. Or even like when we dropped points against Palace away. There are ones in particular I can think of. Even West Ham towards the end of the season. We had chances in those games, real proper gilt-edged chances, and we didn't take them. And eventually, you can't keep living on, we're creating chances, because as long as it stays 0-0, the other side's in the game. Aspor coming out from the back, Varane's been caught in possession. Lacazette, edge of the box, takes a shot. It's a block. They want a penalty. They want a penalty, Lyon. They're claiming for it. Referee's not interested. It was on Wan-Bissaka, but Varane got caught out, and here's United on the counter-attack. Ahmad on the left-hand side, cuts inside, but good defending, gets caught out. But Raphael Varane got absolutely caught out there. Real sloppy on the ball and slow. And United, again, just need to be careful here. Great start, but nothing to show for it at the moment. And maybe Lyon are starting to wake up and get back in the game. And that's what happens when you're not clinical. You always give the opposition side. That's a heavy touch. Sanchez going to try and pounce on it. Doesn't. And Lyon get away with it. CeeLo says the Varane agenda will start soon, sadly. I was very surprised to see that on social media, I must be said. Those people, maybe we should get rid of Varane. This is the penalty that they wanted. Here's Lacazette, takes the shot. I mean, you can't really see from that camera angle, to be honest. It might. Here's a better shot of it. It's the reverse angle. Ah, it's not a handball. It doesn't even touch his arm. Hits his thigh. And it comes off Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo does everything to get in front of him, and it hits his leg. Doesn't even hit his arm. There's nothing to even discuss. So correct decision by the referee. In real time, I was a little bit concerned. I thought, oh dear, that might be a penalty. But no problem. Doesn't even touch the arm or the hand. So we can move on. But still 0-0. 22 minutes gone. As Lyon with a bit of possession here. Tries to spray it out from the back. Goes out for a throw-in. It'll be a Man United ball. But what have we made of the first half so far? Let me know your thoughts, your assessments. We're about halfway through this first half at the moment, so let me know your thoughts about it. A lot of people saying, where's the card? Odds on Hannibal. Odds on Hannibal getting one. I still can't get over how he got one in that last game. It was ridiculous. Wan-Bissaka to Varane. Mason Mount plays it all the way back to Kobbie Mainoo. He's actually between the two centre-backs at the moment. A real deep six. Pirlo-esque. In the Pirlo-esque position. The regista. Martinez might go all the way back to Kovar. Does. One thing's for certain. United have looked fairly comfortable in possession. A couple of hair-raising moments. Giving the ball away. Kovar's looking for the pass. He doesn't really have any option. Varane's saying to these midfielders, give him an option. Make him do something. Kovar tries to spray it out towards Ahmad. It's the only option he had, to be honest. And it's a United throw-in. Lyon players aren't happy. But there needs to be a bit more movement. He's trying to say a bit of give and go. Ahmad saying go long. I don't think that's what Erik ten Hag would really want. Play out from the back. My style advisor's here. Says, Owen always keeps UV going while everyone else is on holiday. Keep up the great work, Owen. Also been enjoying your WWE gaming streams. Big up the mods. Yes. Big up my style advisor. He's been popping in on my my gaming streams on my channel. Owen Wrestling News 365. I'm sure someone put it in the chat. We're less than 100 away from 12,000 subscribers on that channel. So if you haven't already, subscribe there. And whilst you're in a subscribing mood, subscribe here as well. It's the best time. Throw into United. Game's just slowing down a little bit. As I kind of said earlier on, that's how these pre-season fixtures tend to go. You start out with frenetic pace, high energy stuff, and then the players realise they haven't played in a few weeks and they get really tired. Free kick to United. Anthony was having his shirt pulled. It's a bit of grabbage. That's what that was. Lots of people saying, where's the card? I've got too many sounds.
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
There you go. Much better. Well done, Owen. Oh, bit of a poor pass. Martinez is going to keep it in play, though. Travelling with the ball. Lyon nearly have everyone behind the ball. Kobbie Mainoo. This is the issue too as well that United are going to have now, is that Lyon are very much settled into get everyone behind the ball and make it frustrating for United. So United got to move the ball quicker. And this will happen to us this season too. If we're going to be playing an even more possession-based style, we're going to have to beat some low blocks. And United are going to have to get good at it. And you get good at it by, again, resetting, bringing the ball back. Sometimes you have to go back to go forward. And then moving the ball quickly, making space as well. As Kovar's currently on the ball. Red Devil says, Owen, all you have to do is...
believe.
That's one of my favourite sounds. Kovar tries to find Sancho. Wasn't the best pass. Lyon won it. But the second ball's gone to United. Kobbie Mainoo, he's seen the run of Alvaro Fernandez. Can he get in behind the defender? He's going to put pressure on. It might go out for a corner. Did that go out? Defender did well in the end. It was good defending from the Lyon player. Good to see the ball over the top from Kobbie Mainoo as well. It was a decent pass, actually. Found the space. I thought he was in behind. It was a heavy touch from the defender too. And he plays it off Fernandez. It's actually really good. Well played. Throw-in for Lyon, though. They try and hit it up the pitch. Mainoo wins the header. Fernandez turns. That's going to be a United throw-in. Anthony wins it for his team. Is Wan-Bissaka. Reverse pass, gives it to Varane. Martinez tries the ball over the top. Wan-Bissaka let it go. He let it run. Needs to take a touch early, unfortunately. Robert Blake says, sound effects on off please, not everyone here is 12 years old. You're right, Robert. I don't think everyone here is 12 years old. It's not all the time. It's just, I mean, who hurt you, Robert? I mean, it's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun. I mean, ugh. And again, it makes me want to press it more as well. It's you know, it's, everyone here is 12 years old. Robert's 13. Anthony nutmegged the player, but Lyon managed to recover.
Oh, blimey.
He could have been killed.
Come on, you shit bug!
Ugh. There's always one, isn't there? You know what I mean? There's always one. It's free. I've also, as well, I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. I get the impression that probably quite a few people are doing this stream. So, Anthony, it's on the left-hand side, cuts inside. Edge of the box, Mason Mount. Gives it to Ahmad, cuts inside. Ball into the box. Oh, it's blocked. Mason Mount. Oh, it's a short pass. Lacazette nearly got it as well. Nagina says, what happened to the imminent announcement of this on the sale? That's what I was saying yesterday, that I think people have misunderstood the meaning of imminent, isn't it? The people that use it as well. When I read that yesterday, I went, sure it is, you know. Oof, right through the back of Hannibal. It was a foul, yeah. You could hear it. Talk about the sound effects there as well. Nearly 30 minutes gone, still 0-0. Here's Varane. Hannibal's offside, and Sancho gives up the chase. Devil's Advocate says the ref looks like Gerwyn Price. It's a bit of a deep cut, isn't it? Lyon play through the lines a little bit. Moving up United's left-hand side. Opportunity for Lyon. They're going to try and put the ball into the box. It's a good ball. Oh, it's headed away by Varane. Good defending. Good header. If he hadn't won that, there was a player in behind that was ready to tap that into the net. Was a decent move by Lyon, that. Just got caught again. There's a couple of times you have noticed on the left-hand side in particular, Alvaro Fernandez has been caught out, primarily because he's being asked to play as this inverted fullback. So he's in the middle of the pitch. So he's been caught a couple of times, but United managed to defend that well. A Rolls Royce of a centre-back. Kovar getting pressured. Oh, I literally did a Gary Neville. It was close, that one. Robert, you're not going to like it. Kovar will just give a bit of a hospital pass to Raphael Varane. He was able to deal with it just in the end, United, but they nearly got caught out. And it's a free kick, I think, to United. It was a bit of a dodgy pass as well from Kovar. He did the right thing in that he waited and waited and waited to see something opening up, and then he just tried a reverse pass to Raphael Varane, and Varane had a player on him, and it was whew. Walkfist says warm up to an Hannibal. Wow, yes, I think so. I tell you what, also I'm thinking of doing actually. Next time I'll have a Robert button for you, Robert. Warning. Warning. Trigger alert. Because we're a late adopter to it. So throw in to United, though. This is why I love the internet, though. I do. Because you see this all the time. As I said earlier on, if nowadays, if you say you like one thing, it means you don't like the other. You know what I mean? Corner, indeed. Sorry. Corner ball. Ball in. Goes all the way out for a goal kick. United Mafia says United losing steam a little bit. Yeah, Lyon have grown back in the game. And by this point, it should be 4 or 5-0, really. Honestly, United, if they were ruthless, if they had a bit of a clinical touch, just something extra in that first 10 minutes, they'd be far and ahead. But no dice so far. Kovar plays it out to Varane and plays a 1-2. Oh, Kovar's in a bit of trouble here. Martinez. Oh, turns out, see you later. Easy by Lissandro. Leacher. Oh, he's Leacher. Leacher's lethal with the feet. Goes past the attacker with ease. Beats the press. Mason Mount to Ahmad on the left. And comes back again. Fernandez. Is Martinez. Varane. To Wan-Bissaka. Red Baron says the year is 2058. United still have Rashford up front. Yes. And the game just has lost a bit of steam at the moment. Just a couple of the more recent passes from Kovar. I've maybe got a little bit edgy. Lyon travelling with the ball here. Out on the right-hand side, ball in. Lacazette leaves it. Goes all the way to the other side of the box. Cuts inside. And United win it back. Here come Mason Mount. Hannibal. Puts it out to Anthony. Now, Anthony, I'm just begging you, don't slow this attack down. Keep the momentum going. Keep the pace going. Cuts inside, obviously. Oof, it wasn't the best pass. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a nasty one. That is a nasty one.
He could have been killed.
But where's the card then? Where's the card?
It was a nasty tackle on Mason Mount, that. Whoa, it goes right through the back of him. See, in a friendly, that is a booking. That's a booking because there is no need for that. Unnecessary in a friendly to go right through the back of the player. Very, very nasty. Erik ten Hag didn't look too happy with that one. I don't blame him. And here come all of the players that are going to come on in the second half. Johnny Evans is there. Here's Johnny. Players get applauded by the crowd at Murrayfield. Now, it looks like it is going to be Mason Mount, the person that won the free kick, stands over it, along with Anthony. Is this when Mason Mount opens up his Manchester United account, unofficially, obviously? It is going to be Mount to take. Steps up. It's the wall. Trickles. Oh, nearly ricocheted to Lissandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. To be honest, if I'm going to describe it, was a shit free kick. I think he maybe tried to go around the outside of the wall, maybe, and he just hits the play on the fast right. It was not good. Barely got off the ground. Oh. Hopefully that'll get better. But not the best free kick by Mason Mount there. I think maybe the likes of Ericsson, Rashford, Bruno might be having a look at Mason Mount there going, maybe I'll have the next one when we're back in the side. Because, yeah, not the best. Not the best effort from Man United's number 7. Well, certainly wasn't Beckham-esque. Now trying to play it out here. And it's a free kick to United. Certainly, from Lyon's point of view, they've got suddenly much more aggressive and their intensity has gone up significantly. In that first 10 minutes where United could have had all those goals, they were so sloppy and so slow and so lethargic now, particularly in the middle of the park. They're right up behind all of these United players, and they're certainly much more intense as the cameras just show Johnny Evans warming up. 35-year-old Johnny Evans. Shouldn't have been sold when he was sold. To when did he go to? Did he go to West Brom? I think it was first, wasn't it? Ahmad on the ball. Here's Mason Mount. Gives it back to Rafael Varane. Good touch. Less than 10 minutes to go to half-time. And suddenly the game's just become a bit more tight, a bit more edgy. And United struggling to find the space that they found earlier. Don't know if that's a case of Lyon growing into the game or United's intensity dropping off. But it goes to show, again, like we were speaking about early on, that if you don't take your chances, you allow the opposition to grow into the game. And that really was the story of our season. Again, particularly away from home last season. That was it. Every single time. In those big away games, we didn't take chances. We weren't clinical. And the opposition side goes, I tell you what, we got away with one there. Let's get back into the game. And that's what happens. That's what's happened here so far. Lyon have got back into the game. Because they were never out of it because we didn't score. Here's Mount, reverse pass to Anthony. Goes, I'm not sure where he was going there, Anthony. Was just going into like 3 or 4 blue shirts. And Lyon win the ball back. And the goalkeeper puts the ball up the pitch. And now Lyon, they win the second ball. And knocking it around quite nicely. And suddenly it becomes a very even game. Jadine says, I know it's early, but Mason Mount is not looking great. Well, it's very early. You know. Again, it's only pre-season. Here's Wan-Bissaka down the right. Ball gets stuck under his feet. Gives it back to Ahmad. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. Wan-Bissaka. But to say that Mason Mount isn't looking great, I mean, again, it's pre-season. It's pre-season. Oh, Lyon win the ball back. Turnover in midfield. Here comes the counter-attack. It's a good pass. Or a bit of a dodgy touch. Oh, Martinez left it for Fernandez. And he's gone down under a heavy tackle. They want another. There's another penalty shout. Referee again says no. But United just looking a bit. That's nasty. That is nasty. Referee, I think he's going to play advantage. That was a nasty tackle on Kobbie Mainoo, that. But here come United. A bit of space. Mason Mount puts it out onto the right-hand side. Ahmad. He's going to cut inside. Of course he is. Does cut inside. Oh, tried to give it to Mason Mount. He goes down. Referee says no thank you. I mean, if he's not going to give that first one for Lyon, he's not going to give that one to Mason Mount, is he? Just having another look at this. Oh, I tell you what. That might have been a penalty. Let's get another look at this. It's a penalty. It's a clear penalty. Lyon, they'd have a right to be furious. That's a pen. the guy on commentary is trying to say it's a penalty, so he can't give it. It's a friendly, so he can't give a pen. It was a penalty. His legs got caught up in the player. I think that's a pen. We got away with one. You can't argue if they give it. His leg gets caught up in it. But United get away with one there. Wan-Bissaka tries to juggle the ball a bit there. Wan-Bissaka gives it back to Mason Mount. Ahmad, Mason Mount again, 25 yards, takes the shot, just goes over the bar. But a bit better build-up play from United. Mount tried the shot, just went over. Comfortably over. Keeper wasn't worried at all. Played a 1-2 with Ahmad and just puts it over the bar. Sophia says, commentary's a disgrace and a cheat. It was a pen. It definitely was a pen. I think United got away with that one. Or certainly if it was given, you couldn't argue because their legs get caught up. I'm not sure what the commentary that I'm listening to was where he said, "Oh, it's a friendly, so you don't give it." I'm not sure football works like that. Well, friendly, so you don't really give those ones. Flick on from the Lyon goal kick. Fernandez. Heavy touch, goes to Lacazette. Tries the ball in the box. Will just run out. And still 0-0. A couple minutes to go to half time. No, and United will be happy in terms of the build-up play and the chances they created. I think you'll be quite annoyed, certainly, about the chances missed, because United could easily be in front by several goals at this point. But United playing out from the back again. Wan-Bissaka gives it to Ahmad. It was a heavy pass. And Wan-Bissaka's down, actually. This doesn't look good. Wan-Bissaka went down, and I don't know if he got back up. Let's see if they show this in just a second. Kobe Mainoo now trying to put some pressure on the Lyon defender. Gives a free kick. It's harsh. Lyon take it quick. Now they travel with the ball. Fernandez intercepts, but goes back to a Lyon player. That might have been a bit... Whoa, for Hannibal, he's gone right through him. Don't bring out the yellow card again, referee. Don't. It's only a friendly. That was a foul. Oh... Definitely, if this is a proper game, we get booked for that. It's not too bad. It's just very cynical when he jumps in. Fortunately, he doesn't make a ton of contact with him, but it might have been booked. He might get away with that one. Wan-Bissaka was up and he was fine. Free kick. Ball into the box. Oh, it's a decent one as well. Overhead kick and goes out for a goal kick. And that might be the last bit of action of this first half. Seeing the ball in. Indeed it is. We've reached half-time. Manchester United 0, Lyon 0. Second first half of football in these 2 games so far that we've had a goalless first half. Despite a myriad of chances, particularly in that first 10 minutes, United could have easily been at least 3 or 4-0 up. I mean, and not even half chances, significant one-on-ones, saves by the goalkeeper, or just poor finishing. And it means at the moment, it's still 0-0. And particularly as that half went on, because I think the story of that half would have been United started like a house on fire, quick out the blocks, intensity, pressing, winning the ball back, creating chances, quick link-up play. Lyon, I don't even know if they heard the whistle the way they started the game. They were terrible. United don't take their chances, and Lyon start to grow into the game. And then as it goes on, Kovar still, in fairness, hasn't had to make any real big saves or anything like that. But Lyon could have had a penalty, a couple of opportunities which they nearly got in behind and things of that nature. And at the moment, it's still 0-0. So what do you make of that first half so far, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. We'll get your comments up on the screen as well. Obviously, we are expecting to see, most likely, we'll see wholesale changes. In fact, the entire starting 11 most likely will change in this second half. So all of those players that you just enjoyed there probably won't play any more minutes. Of course, there are some significant senior players on the bench. Fred, Donny van der Beek is also on there. Johnny Evans is there too. So we'll see all of those come on. But what do you guys think? As I mentioned, we'll get your comments up at the moment. Let me just move this screen over here so I can see your comments. That would be good. What we got here? Joe says, does Højlund solve our goal scoring problems? Well, I think just having a striker is going to help things, certainly is it. But I do think we do eventually sign Rasmus Højlund. I am quite confident of that. Ed says, poor finishing, not taking chances. Oh, and that doesn't sound like a United performance at all. It's sarcasm. I can tell you sarcasm, Ed. I can read you like a book. Because it does exactly sound like a Man United performance, doesn't it? What have we got else here? Brian says, don't disagree that we need a striker, but not all of those chances fell to a striker, but our entire front line needs to be more clinical. I think that's fair. I think that is a fair assessment. I think, obviously, if we had a striker playing in that first half, we don't score every chance, certainly, because like you say, you've got Anthony there, you've got Ahmad there, and Sancho, all of which are wide players, should be taking those chances. You could maybe hope that with a striker, at least one of them or two of them falls to a striker that could maybe put them away. But I think you're right. I do think that criticism does need to be spread across all of those people that got those chances in that first half, because they all need to be more clinical, certainly, and they weren't clinical in that first half. And again, that was it's almost a continuation of the. It's a continuation of what we saw really last season. And of course, look, it's only pre-season, so you can't get too carried away and you can't be too negative or anything like that, or you can't single out, individual players and say they're not good enough for Manchester United, all that kind of stuff. But just based off what we've seen in that first half, I think you can easily say that it's just a case of needing to be more clinical, needing to take chances. And to be honest, when we played Leeds and Oslo, and that's where those younger players in the second half did kind of put some of the more senior players to shame, because that's exactly what they did. They had a couple of opportunities, they got the shots on target, and they scored goals. And that was just it. Granted, in the Leeds game, particularly in the second half, that Leeds younger goalkeeper was awful. Absolutely terrible. But, yes. What else are we seeing here? Big up Rich says, PSA, pre-season actually means nothing except in relation to increasing fitness. Can't stress yourself out over it. Exactly. That is indeed the case. I mean, you can look at certain things like individual performances maybe and say, well, I think you maybe need to improve a little bit here and there, but it is just about fitness. Overall results and all that kind of stuff doesn't matter. I think Rich is giving out the PSA maybe ahead of the game against Arsenal at the weekend, because obviously I hope we win, because then pre-season will matter and we'll be rubbing it in to all the people from AFTV and all the Arsenal fans. We beat you, you're rubbish, and all that kind of stuff. And then if we lose, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's pre-season, It's only pre-season. Who even really cares? What else have we got here? Vera says it's a pre-season and Sancho can't put in a 70% game. It is finished. Wow, Vera's very not happy with the Sancho performance. Again, it's a big season for Jadon Sancho. I mean, still some people say he still might go this summer. I mean, there's still plenty of time. I've said before, if a club comes in with a serious offer for Jadon Sancho, I do think United are there to negotiate. I really do think so. My style advisor with the super chat, appreciate the contribution, says Sancho and Anthony, they are pre-season form all year. Basically saying that's kind of what we saw all year. To be fair, you're not technically wrong in terms of what we saw in that half there from Anthony and Sancho is not a ton different to what we saw at points from both of them last season. And I think that goes back to, I can't remember who said it. It was one of the guys in the live chat that was saying that that's where, irrespective of the striker that comes in, so let's say Rasmus Højlund, because that's the top striker target, irrespective of that, it's almost irrelevant from their point of view. They need to be more clinical going forward next season. I mean, you can get away with it in pre-season. Pre-season, again, like Rich is saying, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, you move on fairly quickly. But if this was a Premier League game, or if this was a Champions League game in particular, imagine you're playing a Champions League game and you had those level of chances in the opening 5 or 10 minutes, and you got into half-time and it was 0-0 and the other side had grown into the game. Rightfully so, there'd be real criticism of some of those players. You'd be saying, like, you've got to take those chances. So I think that's a fair assessment on some of them. What do we think of the midfield performance so far? Kobbie Mainoo, of course, impressed in the first game against Leeds. Hannibal also impressed. Mason Mount. I mean, I enjoyed, again, Hannibal's performance. I do really enjoy his, again, his aggressiveness, his tenacity. Again, particularly in that first 15 or 20 minutes, he was all over, winning the ball back, driving the ball forward. He was actually really advanced at points as well. But like everyone, maybe sort of tailed off a little bit. Kobbie Mainoo did the simple things well. I think he didn't have a ton to do in terms of really getting involved in the play in a more advanced role, but he was playing really deep. He was playing really between the two centre-backs at points. So I thought he did, again, okay. Mason Mount did... Again, a couple of nice passes here and there. Didn't get super involved. That's when it comes back down to, again, it's just really about fitness, really, isn't it, as well, I think. Defensively, Defensively did okay. At points, look a little bit shaky. Fernandes, because at points, you saw it here with Fernandes. He was like here at points in that half. And then they just put the ball into that spot next to Lisandro Martinez, and he had to get caught out. But that's what happens when you play an inverted fullback, isn't it? And he kind of was in a lot of space with that position. So maybe he got caught out a couple of times. But he was just kind of like a lot of people in that half, wasn't it? Just, well, they did okay, I suppose. Again, good first 20 minutes, but that's about it. That was about it. It was okay. Ahmad says, I miss Scholes. Who doesn't? I mean, if we had Paul Scholes in this day and age, how much would he be worth? My goodness me. A prime Paul Scholes, or even a Paul Scholes towards the end of his career, you talk about players that are nearly worth 100 million quid or whatever, he'd be right up there because he's just a genius. And it's no coincidence that some of the greatest players ever, to a person, people like Zidane or people like Pep or whatever, all say Paul Scholes could have played in any team in the world. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Remember, it is pre-season, so you can get in your either-ors as well. It's not too serious. So your either-ors, you can have what sits or skips. You can have cricket or rugby, films. Although, you know me, I've barely seen any films. So I'd be like, I'm going to be way off when it comes to that as well. So you can get those in as well. Dead and Gone, I hope you're not, says it's friggin' pre-season. It is, yes. Bunny says the football was delicious in parts, Owen. Trust the process and be patient. Again, it's only pre-season. It's a difficult one, isn't it, as well? Because it's pre-season, but you do have to comment and provide analysis for the game, don't you? So for what we've seen, the story of that half is played some good stuff, didn't take chances. Lyon got back into the game, and that was about it. Does it have any reflection on the season? No. Would it be something that Ten Hag's saying to his players? Of course he would. I mean, I'm sure that, again, these players aren't going to play the second half, but I'm sure he'd say to Anthony or Ahmad after the game, be more clinical, take your chances, be ruthless. Good is not good enough. I'm sure he would say that. I think a big positive from the first half is that our build-up play was actually really good. The build-up play was solid. I thought, particularly again, first 20 minutes. And I've said that phrase a million times, but first 20 minutes, the pressure and the high press was good, and I think he'd be really happy with that. It's just again taking the chances. What are we seeing? What else are people saying here as well? Jewel London says they just showed a young Rooney scoring that screamer against Newcastle, if only. I mean, again, you want to talk about £100 million player. Wayne Rooney at 18. I remember watching, not that long ago, I watched the game back when United won at Highbury. Was it 4-2? When, in the black kit and the one with Roy Keane arguing with Patrick Vieira in the tunnel. And you forget, Wayne Rooney at that point is, I think, still a teenager. Is he like 19? Or is he still might even be 18 at that point of time? And the point being is, he's still ridiculously young. He's getting right in the face of people like Patrick Vieira, experienced Patrick Vieira. Again, proper league winner at Highbury. Could give two shits or anything like that. And he was. People talk about, the drop-off of Rooney and how Rooney and Ronaldo are the same age and look at Rooney now and all that kind of stuff. But he was almost like 25 when he was 16. You know what I mean? He legitimately, talk about people being built differently. He was almost like a Benjamin Button footballer in the sense of when he was 16, that was almost like, or when he was 18, that's when he was like peak Rooney. You know what I mean? And as he got older, when he just became 30, he was already by that point in footballing years like 50. or whatever. So he was just something else. Again, people don't realise just how good and how special Wayne Rooney was. I remember watching Rooney at that Euro 2004 before he came to United. And had he not got injured at that tournament, England could have easily won it, because some of his performances in those games in that tournament, he was sensational. I mean, absolutely raw talent. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We talk about raw talent, and had maybe Wayne Rooney had maybe the application of like a Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe he would be still at that level at the moment that like Ronaldo is. Still not amazing, but still playing at that level. But I'm not sure that was ever really his thing. But young Wayne Rooney, something else. And his son, have you seen that on social media? His son is doing numbers at the moment as well. I think if his son's just got even a fraction of the football ability that Wayne Rooney had, and he's in the United Academy, we might have a star in the making in the future as well. What else have we got here as well? Sashiv said Rooney came to United in 2003. He did not. He came in 2004 because it was after that tournament. David says Anthony and Sancho cost £160 million. Mason Greenwood is twice the player of them. Oh, wow. Tabaslow says Rooney was a mad footballer, but his brain, though. Love says Owen's got the Wayne Rooney haircut. Do I? I believe Wayne Rooney has the Owen haircut. I believe, yeah, that's what it was. Suleiman says Rooney got me into football, got me to supporting United too as well. That's a good. I tell you what, that is a good point. What is your Manchester United origin story? Like, why do you support Manchester United? Is it a family thing? Was it a particular player? Was it just I'm going to pick a team? Like, what's your Man United origin story? Because mine's very, very simple. Is that it was a family thing. Like, my dad supported United, so I support United. And that's it. It was very, very simple with that. Some people, it can be anything really. This is why I kind of push back on. People go, you only support your local and all this kind of stuff. Well, the reason that my dad supports Manchester United is because we've got Mancunian blood, because our family's from there. So that's why, you may not hear it. I don't have a Manchester accent or anything like that, and I did grow up there. But again, my family supported Manchester United, so that was it. It was never a question. And again, because that's where part of the family was from. Some people might have certain players. Some people might have their friends support United, so that's what it is. Like, why? What was your reason as well? Let's get some up. Tywin says, Cantona collar up. What a man. That's my story. So it was Eric Cantona as well. Erica said, started out with Beckham, stayed for Sir Alex Ferguson and Scholes. So David Beckham was the reason to support United. What else? Devil says, my dad's Mancunian and I'm from Essex as well. Leo says, Owen, can you try a Mancunian accent? Not a chance. It would be terrible. EA says, I've been supporting United since 92-93. Planet Funny says, I just chose United. That was the reason why. MUFC 14 says, my story. Borussia Dortmund 1, Manchester United 0. First leg semi-final Champions League 1997. Decided that was going to support United from then on as well. What else have we got here? Here we go. Mr. DJ Unfit for Work says, my older brother supported, took me to first match versus Chelsea, 1968. Yep, I'm old. That's what I love about, everyone's got their story, haven't they? Everyone's got their United origin story. Everyone's got their different reasons as to why they decided. Austin Baker with a super chat says, my United story is Scotty doesn't know. If you know, you know. I don't know. So Austin Baker might have to expand on that one as well. Yank Mank says, in the States, we had FS1 that showed games, and United were on the TV most of in the 1999 treble season. I watched them win all that silverware, and I was amazed by them. Also, Rude and Rooney were my favourites. That's something as well, isn't it, as well? In the other countries, sometimes, like you say, sometimes it's just a case of that was the only football that was on, or where I was, that was the only football I got, and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. Again, I always find that really, really interesting. Right, so players are just about to come back out. How many changes have we got? Johnny Evans is on. I think we've got the same goalkeeper. Donny van der Beek's out there as well. Fred, Brandon Williams. So in a minute, I've got to try and do my very best to switch all of these players. I did it last time, but it's going to be challenging. I have to wait till the official team news comes out. But Donny van der Beek is back out in a Manchester United kit. Good for him. Hopefully he gets some fitness. Hopefully he can rebuild his career. Red Baron says, is Maguire injured? No, just he's with those international players that aren't involved today. Because obviously they just came back into training. So Ten Hag wants to have them, wants to see them a bit more time in training. Well, we know that Fish and Johnny Evans are going to be the centre-back, so I can start with that maybe. Let's see if I can start off with these. Let me move Martinez out and Varane out. Johnny Evans is in. Fish is in. Brandon Williams is playing. Oh, damn. They're still playing the music. That's what caught me out. It kicked off, and it took a while for them to stop the music. Ah. Brandon Williams is on. Urado will be on as well. There go United on the counter-attack. That'll be a foul. Donny's on. So I can bring Donny on. Fred's on as well. Hansen's also on. So I can move him there. Front three. Oh, it's Gore. Hansen's on the right. Gore. Forson's on the pitch as well, so I can move Ahmad off. And is it Hugel up front as well? I think. What's Hugel? Take Sancho off. I can bring Hugel on. I did it! Rapid. Oh, lots of people naming names. I wasn't even looking. You try and distract me. I've probably got the things the wrong way around as well. Oh, Donny flicks it back. There is Gore. Probably not exactly in the right areas. I'll switch them in just a second. But they've got the players on in record time. I'm like an F1 pit crew. Oh, and has the keeper changed as well? I think the keeper has changed. Or is it still Kovar in goal? Oh, no, it's still Kovar in goal. Fred's got the captain's armband. Here's Brandon Williams. Oh, Fred. Handball! No. So 10 changes. Not the goalkeeper still in. I should probably actually move Donny and Fred. Oh, then I say that. Fred's up the pitch. But Fred is the captain. Who knows how long he'll be a United player for? This might be one of the last times he puts on the Man United shirt, potentially. Ball in. Oh, what a goal! Donny scored! It's a beautiful goal. Donny van der Beek is back in the starting mode. Back in the 11 with a goal. Brilliant. It's a great volley as well. Excellent goal. Well done. Donny van der Beek. Superb. Right on cue. Right back in the 11 and back on the score sheet. I tell you what, it's a great goal actually. It's a throw-in. And it's Dan Gore. Great ball into the box. Absolutely brilliant ball into the box by Dan Gore. It's kind of no look. Just puts it in. Donny still has a lot to do. I tell you what, that is great technique as well. Really good technique from the Netherlands international. Just guides it, cushions it inside of the foot into the far left-hand corner of the goalkeeper. Brilliant goal. And suddenly, United are 1-0 up. That didn't take long, did it? Well done, Donny.
Yeah!
And just like last time, we have a goal in the second half. Good for him. Keep Donny! Start him! Never sell the player! I'm really glad for him. I mean, obviously, look, he's had a horrible time of injury since January. First time he's been playing competitive football since January. And within minutes, he's on the score sheet. Good for him. And a great assist by Dan Gore as well. A Gore! A Gore! Gore! I am sincere, Tabaslav. I am indeed. Here's Hanson Aaron to Fred. Captain Fred. Good pass by Fred. Here is Donny. Oh, he was offside. Was that his first touch of the second half? It might have been his first touch. Just seeing a replay of the goal. It's a really good cross by Dan Gore as well. But it must be said, it's a good cross, but there's still a lot to do for Donny there. It's really good technique. And look at the reaction. Look at the celebration from Donny. That is just pure relief. That's just pure getting it all out, isn't it? Good for him. Really, I'm genuinely really happy for him. Gore. Brilliant feat by the Man United midfielder there. Here's Hanson Aaron. Cuts inside. Oh, it's a good pass as well. Takes the shot. Oh, foul for Urado and it got blocked. Good build-up play by United again. Just getting another look at this. Hanson Aaron gives it to the midfielder. Who was that? It was Forson. It was good link-up play by Forson. Gave it to Hugill, who lays it off to Urado, and it was blocked in the end. Well played. Here's Forson. Ball into the box is a decent one. Flicked on by Hugill. Brandon Williams. Here's Donny again. Look at this second half team. They've got a point to prove. All of these players really are just trying to play for a spot. You know, maybe something can happen in the future for them. We know Fred's leaving. Donny most likely going to be leaving. But these younger players, they're like, look, I might never play for Man United in a first team game. A competitive first team game. So I got to take my opportunity. Good feet again by Dan Gore. Gore. Really tidy feet. Brandon Williams tries to play through Hugill. He's still onside. Forward runs. Hanson Aaron. Doesn't really work out for him. But it just go to show, doesn't it? If you've got a striker that knows the position and can play forward runs. What we got here? Kyle says, first football match I ever watched was United. That's his origin story. What else have we got? Ash says, come on, Donny, get your price up for us. Sow. That's what I said before the game, wasn't it? Just, I hope they did have a good half. I hope he has a good half to not only build minutes and build fitness, but also build a bit of demand for him on the market. Jadine says, the Donny van der Gender, Owen, it doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's a fable. It's folklore. It's a fairy tale. But a good finish. 52 minutes gone. And United are 1-0 up. Thanks to Donny van der Beek. Here's Johnny Evans. Here's Johnny. Hugo tries to do the flick on. Did not work out. Went straight out for a throw-in. Moonshine, one of our members, says, instead of buying Suzuki, can we just keep Kovar? He looks good. Kovar's done well. And he's going to get 90 minutes. I mean, the other keepers that were listed were quite young. It was Bishop and who was the other one? Harrison. So I thought Kovar would play the full game. Hugo tries to put through Forson, and Forson commits the foul. Andora's Revenge says Flex in the US. Indeed, Flex, KG, Just Josh Media, Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja, all in the United States, all in the Big Apple. Ahead of Manchester United's United States pre-season tour beginning this Saturday with a game against Arsenal in New York. 10 p.m. kickoff, our time. I will be live 9:30 to guide you through the entirety of the game, just like this one here in the Asylum. Or as Mick Foley would say, right here in the Asylum. With the thumbs up. Here's Lacazette. Pass goes all the way back to the Lyon goalkeeper. I'm not sure if they made any changes, Lyon, as well. Sashiv says, Owen, I supported United since 2004-2005 season. Do you know what happened when we played against Arsenal? We ended the invincible streak. What was it? 49-1. Lacazette, Lyon captain, speaking of Arsenal. Here's Fred. High up the pitch, Forsen. Urado. It was a bit of a poor pass to Urado and now loses the ball. Lyon trying to play out from the back. Do play actually quite past United's press there. Oh, good tackle. Who is it by? Gore! 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 He had a good 10 minutes, hasn't he? He's got an assist. He's got tidy feet. Good tackle. Gore! 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 Oh, Gore! There's a video. It might be on my Twitter. It's from a while ago. But last year in, I'm not sure what city it was in. It might have been in Bangkok in Thailand. And Flex goes to touch the post like that. And KG literally spears him. He does a gore. And I took that and put the Michael Cole screaming a gore over it. One of the favourite things I've probably done. Van der Beek spreads the ball out to Forsen. Forsen tries to cut inside. Plays it out to Dan Gore. Gore! 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 Oof. Decent through ball, but it's just a bit too much for Hugo. As Lyon try to play out from the back, it's a foul though by Hansen Aaron. A couple of super chats, cup of super chats here. Jadine says, so people who attend the stream are O-mates then? Yes, of course. The O-mates in the O-Asylum. Keep the O-puns going. Because you know me, I love a pun. Humphrey says, love to see it holding it down right here in the O-Asylum. O-Asylum shirts coming soon. Me behind a cage or me in a straitjacket. Like that. Josh, if you're watching, an emoji needs to come. O-Asylum members. Robert Blake is back. Probably because we stopped with the sound effects. Says, Owen, New Jersey ain't New York. You're absolutely right. You are right, Robert, here. You're indeed correct. Because it's in MetLife Stadium, which is in New Jersey. That's when WWE have held WrestleManias there. They say, it's a New York WrestleMania, and it's not. It's in New Jersey. Despite teams like the Giants, etc. playing there, it's New Jersey, not New York. United, though, showing energy. They want to throw in. I'm not sure whether they got it or not. Tell you what, Forsen really flew into that tackle, didn't he? Urada with the throw-in. Oh, Fred, bit of a scream there by the captain in the second half. Jason says, everything links back to wrestling. It does. That is my knowledge of everything. That's it. That's how I know probably all of the states in America is just through wrestling. Because they'll go, we're live in Buffalo, New York. We're live in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're live in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're live in Austin, Texas. Ball in, Fred. Punched by the keeper. Gore with a header. A Gore. And another United throw-in. Ash says, who is the captain? In this hub, it's Fred. Eric, watching on the sidelines. Big Adidas hat on. Sitting next to Steve McLaren. Sephiroth says, Evans should be captain. Yeah, it's quite surprising considering oldest player, experienced player on the pitch. But Fred, he has tenure as well at United too. And a corner to United. Nearly 60 minutes gone. Still 1-0 to Manchester United. Goal by Donny van der Beek, a returning DVB. DVD. I mean DVDB. DVDB. Yeah. Corner ball to United. Ball in. Keeper punches. Does well. Goes to Van der Beek again. Goes for it. Oh, went for the little chip. Jason says, Owen, how would Jim Ross commentate on this game? I'll tell you exactly how Jim Ross would commentate on this game. He'd probably say when a bad tackle happened on one of the United players, he'd be like, that son of a bitch! Could be something like that, maybe. Kind of a Jim Ross feel. He did do the XFL games when Vince McMahon tried to launch that. Lyon playing out from the back. Oh, poor pass. It's Gore that wins it back. Hugo. Donny van der Beek tries the ball over the top. Finds Hanson Aaron into the box. Goes down. Wasn't a foul. Needs to get on the weights. Looks like Lyon's about to make wholesale changes. I think they're going to change their whole team. Oh, someone in the crowd's got a horn. And it's beyond annoying. Always someone with an air horn, isn't there? Every single time. It's like I was chatting to Josh the other day because I saw something on Twitter. Someone said, the 2010 World Cup was the best World Cup of all time. And I was like, 2010 World Cup was the best World Cup of all time?
You are on crack!
It was rubbish. It was a terrible World Cup. The Jabulani ball was awful. It caused all kinds of problems. The Vuvuzelas were beyond annoying. You couldn't barely watch a match with the sound on for the noise of every time. It was just the worst. The worst thing to happen to football was the Vuvuzelas. And they had to start banning them from the arenas every time. I wonder how the game's going. Oh, it's going great, isn't it? Every time. Goal goes in. Penalty. Injury. Substitution. What an atmosphere. Had its moments, obviously. To be honest, the World Cup that just went was actually really good. You can't argue. The only thing missing from the last World Cup was the fact that it was in the winter. Had that been like a summer tournament, it would have been amazing. But obviously, you couldn't. Not in that heat in Qatar. A bunch of substitutions now. They've made wholesale changes, Lyon. AB says, I disagree, Owen. It's a cultural thing. Maybe it was, but it was just, It's like I said, it's someone with a horn in the crowd now. It was just best World Cup of my lifetime. It's just always, I just always associate World Cups with heartbreak. That's the problem. Every single time. And the Jabulani balls too. That wasn't even limited to the actual real balls. If you bought a replica Jabulani ball, they were just the same. You just kick it. It was like one of those floater balls. They just go like that all the time. Try playing in goal with a Jabulani. Horrible. Oh. Like I enjoyed the spectacle of it. There's things I liked about the South African World Cup. The ITV theme song was brilliant. Sing Sing Africa. Loved that. The whole like Suarez thing with Ghana is somewhat iconic because it's mental. You know. The fact that it just turned into an absolute, war, kicking each other in the face and all that kind of stuff. the Howard Webb, Nigel de Jong final was kind of nuts. England being just awful at that World Cup. Absolutely awful. England with Rooney, when we drew to Algeria, talking into the camera. That's what happens to your own fans are booing you. My God. World Cup 2014. Probably best remembered for the Brazil capitulation, isn't it? From Germany. Every World Cup's got its moments, actually, in fairness. 2006, Zidane headbutt. Here's Forsum. Tries to link up with Hugo. Lyon win the ball back. Sophia says World Cup in 2006 was decent. There were some good games then. There were. Oh, Lyon plays the ball in behind. Offside. I was trying to think, actually. What is the best World Cup of my lifetime? And the thing is, it's difficult with World Cups, isn't it? Because obviously, if your team does well, if your country does well, then that's the best World Cup for you, isn't it? So, for instance, the 2018 World Cup was good because England did well. But to me, it's annoying because it's still like, we could have got to the final and we didn't. France 98 was good. But I was still quite young with France 98. Again, the last World Cup that went by actually was really good. It was really good. I really enjoyed the World Cup. Here's Fred. United on the counter-attack. Through the legs. Hansen Aaron's in the box. Cuts inside. Takes the shot. Oh, good save by the keeper. Really unlucky. Good play by United. Counter-attack. It's a good break by United. Fred carries the ball. Hansen Aaron, good space. Cuts inside, shifts it onto his right foot, and keeper just tips it wide. Unlucky. Unlucky. Lyon trying to play the ball out from the back. Keeper switches the ball out to the right back. Oof, heavy touch. Forster nearly picked that one up. The Devil's Advocate says Donny round the corner ball to Fred. Yes, indeed. Not bad. John Thornton says late to the game who scored for us. I can tell you. Second half, Donny van der Beek. Early in the second half. Back on the pitch. Back in the lineup. And back in the goals. Well done, Donny. Hugo. One thing's to be said about World Cups. They've all got the story. Oh, unlucky. Oh, he did really well, Hugo. Was a good reverse pass towards Forson. I don't think Horson actually thought he was going to get there. Fred wins it back. High up the pitch. Into the box. Donny van der Beek. Forson. Hugo. Because what I really enjoyed about this last World Cup, it was just the drama. Every match, they had so many sort of almost iconic matches. You think back to how the group stages ended so many times. I mean, what was that group stage where, I mean, there's like the Japan thing where the ball, was it in, wasn't it in? You had the group stage which had the entire group change around those. The drama in those last few group stage games were incredible. Well, the last group stage game was incredible for a lot of those groups. I think back to the Netherlands versus Argentina. Weghorst coming on, getting the goal. Louis van Gaal getting into arguments with Messi as well. The final, France being absolutely awful. And then Mbappe just coming to life. Second half. I think about the Moroccan journey too. Morocco's journey to the semi-final and the matches that they had and the support they have. Even with Saudi Arabia. That's the thing too. Argentina won the World Cup. They lost their first game against Saudi Arabia. Incredible. It was just good. It was good. Here's Lyon on the counter-attack. Good tackle by Johnny Evans. Here's Johnny. Johnny Evans. He might be bolding. He might have a bold spot at the back. It doesn't matter. But good defending by Johnny Evans. Sign him up. Sign him up. No problem. Long-term contract. Just heading into nearly the 70th minute. Still 1-0. Donny van der Beek's goal. The difference between the two sides so far. Of course, 10 changes. People forget that actually about Lyon, don't they? They got when in the 20 nearly got it in. Did Lyon get to was it a Champions League final with the 2020 Champions League? The one which they won as PSG, wasn't it? They got to the semis. That was it. It was semi-final that year because they beat City, didn't they? And they lost to Bayern Munich. That was it. That wasn't even that long ago. It was a couple of years ago. That was when the semi-final was just one game, wasn't it? I think. One game at like a neutral place. Feels like a lifetime ago, that, doesn't it? Absolutely this feels like just a different time. Just a different universe. Here's Fish. Urado. Puts it across to Dan Gore. Chris says, best World Cup was 1990. Yes, I'm that old that I remember it. What a team we had. Of course, Italia 90. Got the Italia 90 song as well. So you've got Gazza's Tears. You've got Gary Lineker. You better keep an eye on him. Got the David Platt volley. It's truly iconic, isn't it? Certainly for England, because until 2018, that's the closest we got to winning the thing. Against a good Germany side as well. And we had chances. But certainly second half, a bit less intensity, as you would expect. A bit like the first half, really. First few minutes, you get this fluster of energy, and then sort of the game sort of settles then into a bit of a slower pace. But if you haven't already, click the like button as well. How many likes are we currently on? We're currently at 314. See if we can get it to 500. For the last pre-season fixture. Actually, it's not the last pre-season fixture outside the United States, because we've got two after. One in Dublin and one at Old Trafford. Tagliafico tried to take the volley. Absolutely sliced it. I thought he went through Forsten there. No foul, though. Of course, there is an Ajax influence on this one. You've got Lissandro Martinez, Donny van der Beek, Erik ten Hag, Tagliafico all work together at Ajax. Just feels like there's an Ajax influence all over, isn't it? Of course, Lyon did make changes later than United, so maybe they're hoping to have a bit of a strong finish. United still trying to protect their lead. Of course, this would still be 100% in pre-season so far. 100%. 100%, Owen. We're going to win the league. 100%. Me and Marcel talking about winning the Champions League. Fred. Gives it to Urado. Warsau's in the chat, obviously. Ahmad says Gary Lineker shit himself. That's accurate, he did. Sefer says, Owen, who do you think will win the Euros? Gosh. I mean, I think I'm not sure if England will win it, but they should be right there. I think our team's better than it was in the 2021 Euros, or Euro 2020. I think our team's better than it was at the World Cup last year, because I think the younger players have developed it since then, honestly. Because you've got the likes of Bellingham, who's now at Real Madrid, Declan Rice now at Arsenal. Sort of those younger players are sort of getting into their prime now. You'd probably still say France, because they've just got still so much quality. Hansen Aaron travels with the ball and cleared away. But procedures, you still probably say France, even though the sort of that golden generation of like your Pogba's and your Kantes and all that kind of stuff is older now. They've still got incredible players coming through. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, etc. They're still quality. They're still really, really good. So you'd probably say France. Mbappe, obviously. I mean, what we did see at the World Cup as well with France and Mbappe in particular. Like, he just carries that team. They've got great players too, but that was a France team that had injuries, and they still got to the final and were quality. And I just don't trust Gareth Southgate as well. I'm just not on that Gareth Southgate thing. I think he's had, particularly the Euros last time, I just can't forgive him for that. I don't understand how we can essentially have a home tournament. I know it's spread across Europe and we played away in one of the games, but we basically had a home tournament with every game apart from one being at Wembley. We faced Italy in the final, who didn't even qualify for the next World Cup, and we still didn't beat them after going 1-0 up. And essentially, it was the same game that we had against Croatia a few years earlier in the semi-final. Score an early goal, don't manage the game. And he's just not the guy. And then you saw at the World Cup, some of his decisions were just bizarre. Marcus Rashford was in incredible form in that World Cup. Against France, he's going to start on the bench, comes on with like 10 minutes left. Just don't get it. And I'm one of those proper plastic fans when it comes to international football. If it's not a Euros or a World Cup, I really don't care that much. Honestly. International football, I just find so dull. Ball in behind for Lyon and goes all the way out for a goal kick. Also as well, like international football, like I understand the need for qualifiers and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes like the unnecessary inclusion of the Nations League, I don't understand. I feel it's really redundant to me. And sometimes just unnecessary friendlies. Suleiman says, Germany, Italy and Spain have fallen off. Germany, absolutely. I thought with Hansi Flick, they'd be right back. And they are miles off. Really are. Italy, they've just got not good players, Italy. They sort of do the best that they can. I mean, the fact that they didn't qualify for the World Cup was stunning, wasn't it? But it just goes to show, but they still haven't got good players. But they won the Euros. We were a far better team than Italy, and we still bottled it. Sophia says Netherlands. Well, what was interesting with the Netherlands is that they've got good players, and we saw that at the last World Cup. They're a decent team, but from what I've seen, I think under Ronald Koeman, they're struggling a bit. Always go back to Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal knows how to get it done when it comes to the Netherlands, and any other coach they get in looks like it never works out. Suleiman says Portugal as well. That is true. Portugal have a good young side. But they got Roberto Martinez, which is, for me, I thought such a bizarre appointment for them, considering that he had a golden generation in Belgium and just blew it. Absolutely blew it with them. So he gets another one up with Portugal. Here's Fred, though, in the middle of the centre circle. Game's completely slowed down. Jurado, good pass. Oh, tried to play it between the lines, but there was no one making the run. I mean, there's an argument to be made with Roberto Martinez, actually, that he's the coach, but he's not the manager. Cristiano Ronaldo manages Portugal. He picks the team. Free kick given to Lyon. I was just seeing some news here from Jamie Jackson. Says Sir Jim Ratcliffe is prepared for Manchester United's protracted potential sale to enter the new season if required, and is putting no time frame on when the Glazers need to make a decision. Well, everyone's doing it. It doesn't matter, actually, to be fair, because the Glazers are going to take as long as they want to take. They've already taken nearly 10 months. So that's kind of a strange thing to say, isn't it? I think both parties, when they've come this far, no one's going to pull out or anything like that, are they, really? And according to reports, his bid's effectively redundant at this point because the minority shareholders are threatening legal action. Unless they can figure that out, his bid's kind of stuck. The next part of that is in a follow-up, just regarding what Sheikh Jassim is saying. Is that Sheikh Jassim has become frustrated at the length of the sale process. He is unsure about the Glazers family's intent to sell, which again, honestly, is the same thing that's been put out there this whole time, is that there are sources or there are people within both bids that sort of question the Glazers' real desire to sell, because if they wanted to sell, they would have done it already. So, as I said yesterday when we were talking about it, I don't expect this to be resolved until we enter the new season. Not at all. We had hoped going into this time after the last season ended that we were going to pick up some pace, but we really haven't. Rich says not that it matters much, but apparently Onana has finally landed in Manchester. So he's going to be undergoing his medical today. But he's not going to fly out, obviously, with his teammates later today to the US. It's going to probably be, I mean, again, depending on how they can get all this stuff done and the required paperwork. I don't know if he's going to be available. Thinking about it now, the chance of Onana being involved against Arsenal may be a bit slim. Oh, Forson does really well there. Was surrounded by 3 blue shirts, managed to keep hold of the ball. Donny Evans tries the ball over the top, looks for Hugo. Goes all the way out for a goal kick. But less than 10 minutes remaining. Still Manchester United 1, Lyon 0. Donny van de Beek's goal, the difference. Ball in, and it's a corner. Love says, Owen, can you just check your soundboard is working? Haven't heard it for a while. Request from SJ. Well, it depends on the moment, doesn't it? Depends on the moment, depends on the time. You don't want to overuse it. As United now have a corner. Again, Hugo wins it. So who's going to be standing over it? I think it's going to be Hansen Aaron. Stands over the corner for United. See if they can double their lead. Nesta says, I bought 5 tickets at a ridiculous price. I won't get to see Onana. Maybe. You don't know. It looks, to be fair, a bit unlikely. Ball in. No real height on the ball. And here come Lyon again on the counter-attack. Must be said, look, Lyon are still in it. There's only a goal between them. Not with that, though. Johnny Evans sweeps up. Tries to win a foul. Goes down. Referee says no. Johnny Evans was looking for an opportunity to pass the ball. There was no takers. As we've got 8 minutes left. Probably won't be any injury time or stoppage time or anything like that. Forson. Good tackle by the Lyon player. Tagliafico. Ball over the top by the Lyon player, but goes all the way back to Kovar. Who's done well in this game, Kovar. I mean, really hasn't had really anything to do in terms of saves. A couple of passes in the first half might have been a bit shaky, but some good passes too. Here come Lyon again on the counter-attack. They're going to get the ball into the box. Ball in. Kovar, good claim by the goalkeeper. Easy stuff. And rolls it out. Here come maybe United on the counter-attack. Donny's all by himself. He's got his arms out saying, where is anyone? Where's everyone? And that's going to be a United throw-in. Looking a bit leggy out there at the moment. Suleiman says, I think Owen's, the chat's made Owen conservative with his soundboard today. No, just the second half. I mean, like I said, I could press buttons. You know, I could say that people are saying that I'm not using the soundboard is absolute
accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
that's what it is. I can use it if I want, but with great power comes great responsibility. That's what was it Uncle Ben said. Owen Style Advisor says, how many times have you seen Donny van de Beek since the goal? Come on, don't try and push me into the Donny van de agenda. I can see what you've tried to do there. You've laid a trap. We haven't seen anyone since the goal. It's been all in the midfield. It's been quite quiet. It's just good. It's a good fitness. Is that going to be a foul? Oh, referee! No foul from the... Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Is Lyon on the counter-attack, tries to put the ball in. Johnny Evans is there. Oh, he went to cut it out. He went to do the pass, but it was a bit of a heavy pass. Here we go. Counter-attack for United. Here goes Hugo. Keep running. Keep running. He's by himself. You're not really sure anyone there. And wins a corner. Well played. Good play by the striker. Lyon players down. I said in the last game, I'd have started Hugo today with those senior players, not because he should be the starting striker for United or anything like that, but it's just a difference of having someone that actually plays in that position. You know, that's the difference. Someone that plays that position all the time, knows how to hold the ball up, knows how to make runs, and you're not sort of shoehorning people into positions like, say, Sancho as a false nine that they're not particularly comfortable with. Forson stands over it. Ball in. Oh, nearly went to Johnny Evans. Rose like a salmon. But didn't get the header. Imagine Johnny Evans scored. Sign the contract. Put him up front. Or it might have been Fish. It might have been a case of mistaken identity. Fish literally rose like a salmon. It writes itself. As the Lyon goalkeeper has the ball. Less than 5 remain in United's second pre-season fixture. This one at Murrayfield in Edinburgh. Good high line by Manchester United as the Lyon player is offside. Look at that. Look at Johnny Evans playing in a high line. Could Maguire do that? Don't know. Just saying. Look very composed. Will Fish. Aim for Hanson Aaron. Couldn't find him. Suleiman says the bombastic side eye. Yes, KG's bombastic side eye. That's got to be an account. I know people have like KG's. What was it? KG's smart car. KG's whatever. Gavin Carey. KG's bombastic side eye has to be a name that someone uses. It has to be. Because I would just love to get a super chat in. KG's bombastic side eye says. Donny van der Beek gives it to Fred. Lays it off to Urado. Oh, tried to get the ball in the box. Wasn't a great ball. Gore. Oh, it's a free kick. A Gore! A Gore! Gore! And played all the way back to the Lyon keeper. Oh. Yes, M3DC 0. Onana is reportedly touchdown in Manchester. He's going to do his medical today. A race against time to see if he can play against Arsenal. Probably not. Considering, I don't know how much he has done some pre-season training with Inter. It's not as if he hasn't played football or anything like that. It's Brandon Williams. Fish gives it to Gore. Good pass as well. Oh, it's unlucky towards Urado. I tell you what, Dan Gore in this second half might be the player I've been impressed with the most. He's been brilliant. And not just for the assist from the goal. It's his passing range. His passing range, his close control has actually been all right. Just like there he is. It goes past the player, wins a foul. Brilliant. Dan Gore does it again. A Gore! A Gore! A Gore! Really impressed by him in the second half. The commentary just saying he's been picked up. It's a terrible tackle as well. That's nasty. Very, very nasty. Don't like that.
He could have been killed.
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
Should have been a booking. Don't care if it's a friendly. But it's going to be a free kick. I think Fred's standing over this one. Captain Fantastic Fred. As KG's bombastic side eye says, Gore. Fred, he takes a shot off. Fred. Oh, Fred.
Disgusting!
Why? You greedy so-and-so. He took a shot. You took a shot. How dare you? Fred was like, I'm going to cross it in. Back post.
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
Terrible, Fred. You're greedy. And I tell you what, if Lyon score now, because they're on the counter-attack. Heading into the end of regulation time. Tagliafico. You know, I just got to make sure. That's it. And that's it. Full time. Manchester United's 100% record continues in pre-season with a 1-0 win. A 1-0 win. A 1-0 win over Lyon. A goal from Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek gets the winner with a volley. The Donny van der Gender is over. We're keeping him. Forget about it. Another clean sheet. Another win for Manchester United. And now all eyes turn to the game against Arsenal in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium on Saturday. And again, kind of the same as really the first game, to be honest. Obviously, a tale of two halves because there were different teams in either half. But you had a first half filled with more senior players. That there was some really nice play, some really energetic play at points, but a lack of composure in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, a lack of quality, a lack of, again, just composure in front of goal. Second half, we get those 10 changes, not 11, because Kovar played the entire game. And straight away, United put the ball in the back of the net. A great ball into the box by Gore! And Donny van der Beek with an excellent volley. It's not an easy volley too. You know, obviously a lot of the praise will go to Dan Gore for putting the ball in the box. But Donny still has a lot to do, cushions it into the corner. And I'm really happy for him. I said before the game that I wanted to see him get minutes. I wanted to see him pick his career back up. I mean, not only just, obviously, the injury that he's had, but for 3 years since he's been at United, he hasn't played a lot of football. It hasn't gone well for him. He still needs to leave this summer. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't changed anything. With one half of football, but hopefully here's hoping that there might be some clubs that were interested, take a look at Donny in that game and go, oh, that's all right, and he builds up a bit of momentum for himself in the pre-season tour as well, because let's face it, he's going to be going to the United States as well. I think he'll be involved and included in that squad, and again, I'm happy for him to get that goal. You could see by just the reaction, couldn't you? You could see his the emotion that came out of him, that sort of just pure release that came out of him at the time that he was happy, because it's been a long time. It's been since January since he suffered that injury, and he gets back in and within minutes he's on the score sheet, so I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that. Apart from that, second half was pretty nondescript. Not that much happened. Standout players, it would be Gore, who impressed me the most in the second half, actually, because I thought his passing was excellent. I thought his intensity, his pressure was excellent. Won the ball high up the pitch as well, and also in those sort of deeper midfield areas. Obviously gets an assist too. So it's going to be interesting to see more of him in the US tour. As far as the defenders, Johnny Evans making his unofficial re-debut for Manchester United. Didn't really have all that much to do, so it's difficult to kind of judge. What he did do, he did well. He didn't look out of place. He didn't look like this giant old man, you know, playing with a bunch of younger players that looked out of place or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see when he plays in that preseason fixture against Wrexham, because of course he is going to be on the US tour. He's going to be playing in San Diego, and I don't know how much he's going to be playing in the other games or anything like that. I don't know if he's going to be playing against, well, he definitely won't play the next day against Real Madrid, but I don't know if he's going to be playing against those other teams, you know, Borussia Dortmund in, I think that's Vegas. So yes, that's going to be interesting. But I thought he did fine. As far as the other players, again, it was a pretty nondescript second half, so you can't really judge too much. Kovar played the entire 90 minutes. Again, I think he did well, and I really do think there is an argument to be made when it comes to him. Of there's been all this talk about a backup goalkeeper. There's been all this talk about, oh, we need to get in Suzuki from Japan to be the backup to Andre Onana. But if you're really stuck when it comes to financial fair play, if you're really stuck with, we just don't really have the money to be bringing in those players, you've already got a real credible number 2 option there in Kovar. He looked reassured. In the first half, a couple of wayward passes. Again, as I saw people in the chat saying this, and it is really true, get used to that, because that's going to happen with Andre Onana. Of course, the quality you think with Onana will be higher, and maybe those mistakes might be reduced under someone like Andre Onana. But that kind of moments where you're going, that's going to happen. You know, that's going to continue to happen throughout the season. So we've got to get used to that. We've got to train ourselves. But he's still a young keeper, and he had a really successful season last year. Won a trophy too. So I think he could be a real legitimate option for him, actually, for United, actually. So I think good performance from him. Didn't really have to make many saves. What he did do, though, he did well. Again, good passes, claimed a couple of crosses, and showed, I think, maturity. So I think that's a positive match for him. And as far as the other players, really, in the second half, you can't really judge too much because, again, they didn't do too much. As far as the players that played in the first half, just casting our minds back, people that stood out, Kobbie Mainoo did okay again. Hannibal did maybe not as impressive as he was in the first game. Mason Mount probably did a bit less, didn't have as much sort of quality moments as he had before. You'd be looking at that front three of Anthony, Ahmad and Sancho and saying the link-up play was good. They made chances, but they didn't take their chances, and that would be one of the biggest takeaways from the first half. Certainly would be the composure and the quality in front of goal. Not that that's anything new with Man United, really, but the tale of the game, the story of the game, is largely the same as it was in the first game. The team in the second half kind of show up the first team a little bit, although more senior players with getting the goal and maybe looking a bit more composed as well. But it's only, as we said, it's only pre-season, so you can't look too much into it. I mean, look at the guy walking just in front of the screen there. Disgrace cheat. You can't look too much into it. It's all about minutes. It's all about just getting time on the pitch and building up the fitness levels, getting players to gel together. It's also very difficult because all of the international players haven't played minutes just yet. They are back, so they're going to be playing against Arsenal at the weekend. And it's also going to be really interesting, I think, that first team that Ten Hag picks against Arsenal at MetLife Stadium, because probably not going to include Onana, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But sometimes that first starting 11 can be a bit of an indication as to what Ten Hag's maybe preferred starting 11 is going to be this season for that first game of the season against Wolves at home on that Monday Night Football, that first weekend of Premier League football once it returns. So that's going to be quite curious to see who that starting 11 is going to be. Who do you think it's going to be, actually? Out of just curiosity. What's that starting 11 going to be? If it's not Onana in goal, probably say put Kovar back in. Right back, again, it could be Wan-Bissaka. It might be Dalot. Maybe they might just give Dalot because he hasn't got the minutes so far. Centre-back pairing again will be Varane and Martinez. I don't doubt that. Left back will be Shaw. That's when you'll probably see Casemiro. And that's when this is when it starts to get interesting. You're going to see Casemiro, Mason Mount. Is Christian Eriksen going to be on the bench? Or do you have Casemiro start with Eriksen? Because again, Mason Mount's had minutes so far. And then the forward options, Rashford's going to be playing up front because he's the only striker we've got. Anthony Martial isn't fit. Left wing will probably be... Wow, what will it be? Maybe Sancho, or is it going to be Garnacho? I'd prefer it to probably be Garnacho, honestly. Bruno in the 10, right-hand side, it'd probably be Anthony. But let me know your lineups as well whilst we're still here for the next few minutes. So Suleiman says Kovar, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, Anthony, Rashford, Sancho. Quite interesting there as well. What else have we got here? Drew London says, super happy Donny scored. Would be good if he can get in some top performances during pre-season and maybe change Erik ten Hag's mind. I'm not sure he will. But again, good for him to get minutes in and maybe secure a move for him or something like that. Lil says Onana is playing 45 minutes. Owen, maybe, possibly. Lil says, thank you all for joining the Osylum. Like it up. Yes, the Osylum. It's got a name officially. I might ask Josh, in the million other things that he has to do, if we can get some kind of like Osylum logo here. Somewhere. It can go somewhere. Surely it can. Surely we can get an Osylum logo, maybe. Ahmad says, I would like to see how Hugo does with the starting 11 in the next game. I would like it just because it's good to have a striker. You know, we've noticed that in these first halves of the last two games, just not having that focal point is really challenging. But Marcus Rashford's probably going to start up front, really, isn't he? So it's... yeah, I think that we'll probably have Rashi up front. Sashib says, when will KG be live? I have no idea. I have no idea. He might be live. I know he's brought his stuff to the US. I don't know what the internet situation is like where they are. I know I saw Josh say that the internet was not amazing in their hotel that they're in. But I'm sure you'll be able to see on his channel at KG That Comedian if he is indeed going to be live at any point. There are going to be fan views coming up. I'm going to do one. I'm not sure if Flex and KG are going to do one. Probably are. I'm sure they were watching the game at some point over the last 90 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. As I mentioned, all of the tour content is on its way. The vlogs, I do know that a day zero vlog is on its way soon. So there'll be documented footage of Flex and KG's journey and Josh's journey to the United States, which was again crazy yesterday, and also all of the other tour coverage is going to be beginning now. So all of the match views will be bringing you, regardless of what time they are. I'm going to be up and joining you at strange times so we can guide you through the matches, as well as all of the match previews, the fan views, the open training sessions, the press conferences. We're going to have it all covered. You know what we do here at United View, and we do it better than anyone else, certainly when it comes to the tour. Anyway, guys, as I mentioned, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Plenty of UV content on the horizon, so subscribe. You don't want to miss a single thing. I'm out of here. Have a good one. Peace.